Cool, done.
Okay, I think Prof. Anwar is here. Surveyor Ghani is here. So we're waiting for Dr. Zai. Dr. Zai is not here, I think, yet. So we have another 2 minutes. So today, your presentation for 2 tasks. For task 1, we'll start with group 1, 3, and 5. And then we will continue with task 2 with the same order, group 1, 3, and 5. Okay. So the criteria today, your rubric criteria for the presentation is, we will look into your content, structure of presentation, performing, and also performing means contact with the audience, and then illustration for task 1. For task 2, it's similar, but there's extra for your video. Okay, that is included in the marks for illustration. Okay. So perhaps group 1, you can share your slides first while we wait for Dr. Zai. And then once Dr. Zai is in, we can start the presentation. Okay, Dr. Zai is here. Okay, so before we start, good morning, everyone. Oh wait, let me record the session.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so good morning, Assalamualaikum, good morning. Today is your final presentation for IP 2021. You have 2 tasks to present, 3 groups today. Task 1, we will start with task 1, group 1, 3, 5, and then we'll have a break. And then task 2, group 1, 3, 5. Let me introduce you to your panel today. We have Professor Dr. Surveyor Anwar Alias with us. We have Dr. Surveyor Zahira Yahya and also Surveyor Abdul Ghani Sarib. Okay, panels, can we start the session?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
no problem.
Okay, so you have 20 minutes for your task 1 presentation. Group 1, I'll let you present right now. Good luck.
Dr. Zafira, sorry for to interrupt. Can facilitator ask question for the...
Oh, yes. Can. Everyone can ask questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. So after the 20 minutes presentation, we'll have a 10 minutes Q&A session with all the panels. Okay. So AK, are you ready? This is your group.
Yes, Dr. Ready. Just waiting for them to start.
Okay. Your time starts now, okay?
Betul. Kamera saya tak boleh konjak.
Siapa tak ada?
Betul dengar tak?
Dengar?
Kamera saya tak boleh konjak.
Guna telefon? Macam mana?
Kamera tak boleh konjak.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning to our panel today. Professor Dr. Surveyor Anwar Alias, Dr. Zahira Yahya, Surveyor Abdul Ghani Sarib, and Dr. Zafira and my fellow friends. We are from Lighthouse Group and will present our integrated project for task 1, which is Esquire Avenue. Next. For subject side, we have 3 parts, and this is our particular of titles. Next. This is our analysis of the site. The total land area of the site is 3.08 acres with a rectangular shaped plot of land with a flat terrain. Currently, there is a building on the site, which is the British High Commission building. Next. Next, this is our site plan. Our land is red in color. Next. Zoning plan for the land is under commercial zone. Next, for location of proposed site, to the east of subject site, we have Royal Thai Embassy. To the north of subject site, we have Doubletree by Hilton Hotel, and to the west of the subject property, we have Petronas Twin Tower with the distance 1.2 kilometer away. Next. For planning consideration and requirement, the zoning is commercial with the plot ratio 1:6 and max allowable plot ratio 1:10 with the maximum 60% claims area. Next. For the market study, we have part 1 and part 2, which is a demographic and property market overview. Next. For Kuala Lumpur population and annual population growth rate declined slightly in 2021, as we can see on the graph, because of the closure of the national boundary and interstate boundary is the main reason that lead to decline in Kuala Lumpur population during 2021. While for the household size, the data that we get from Department of Statistics Malaysia, the number of households had increased to 484.3 in 2019 on average. Household size in Kuala Lumpur was 3.3% as compared to 3.6% in 2016. Next. As you can see on the graph, on the red box shows the income for T20 group. The data here prove that it will be enough demands towards dwelling units in property market. In 2019, the mean income is around 28,000, and it shows that T20 group afford to buy luxury properties based on assumption 30% of income allocated for monthly mortgage repayment. Next. On the left, as shown in the graph, the trend of the number of the approved participants fluctuated. MM2H stands for Malaysia My Second Home, started to launch in 2002 to promote the country as a retirement destination. On the right, by breaking the MM2H visa holder application by countries, foreigners from China rank at the top, while MM2H will be reopened for application in coming October. The new requirement to apply for MM2H is more strict because it needs a person to have an offshore income of at least 40,000 per month and maintain a fixed deposit account of RM 1 million. Next. The graph shows the lifestyles change due to COVID-19 impact. People more tend to stay at home rather than to go out after pandemic of COVID-19. To summarize the finding on lifestyle changes and relate it to the property, there is a need in considering the change in lifestyle when designing the unique features for an uncertain future. That's all from me. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter.
All right. Thank you, Hafizuddin. Now we will look into the property market overview around Mukim Bandar Kek. I will show you the overview of the service apartment, the retail segment, the purpose-built office, hotels, and from that we will determine which development can be the highest and the best use of the land. All right, first, the service apartments. In Mukim Bandar KL, we can see there's a lot of completed service apartment here, and we can see it increasing in stable pace year by year. On top of that, the incoming supply also indicates a surge of service apartment in construction phase. This sure will provide a promising supply in the near future. Not only that, the planned supply also increased from year to year. Next, I have shown you the supply data, but how about the demand? For that, we will look into the volume and the value of the transaction for the service apartment in Mukim Bandar KL. On the left side, the volume is increasing from 2016 until 2018 and slight decrease in 2019. Due to the COVID-19, the year 2020 shows a fall in volume. As for the value of the transaction in the right side, it fluctuates and it is recorded 2020 has the least value with only 729 million due to the pandemic. Nonetheless, even at the lowest transaction value, it almost reached 1 billion ringgit. We done for the service apartment. Now we move to the retail segment. All right, on the left side shows the supply for shopping complex in 3 different locations. In the graph, there is no incoming supply at all for shopping complex in Jalan Ampang area, which is our subject property located at. The low existing and incoming supply indicates that the shopping complex in Mukim Bandar KL, especially in Jalan Ampang, is not favorable anymore, especially during this pandemic situation where a lot of malls operating in minimum capacity. Another reason is why shopping malls are not suitable is because the construction of well-known developments such as TRS, Oxley Tower, Datuk Jelatik Mall, and many others, as shown in the table on the right, which will give a challenge to penetrate into the shopping complex market. All right, after that, the purpose-built office. The supply of office in Mukim Bandar KL area are already abundant. In Jalan Ampang area, it is recorded the highest number in existing office. The upcoming units also give a fierce competition for us to develop the office units, especially in Jalan Ampang area and TRS at Jalan Tun Razak, as well as UOB Tower and Merdeka 118 Tower. I'd like to bring your attention that this pandemic has given a challenge to the owners in keeping and finding the tenants during this unprecedented business environment. As alternative work cultures such as co-working, work from home become popular and the best way to work around the COVID-19 restriction and social distancing. Plus, the Minister of Health recently said this COVID situation will become endemic where people will live with the virus and in this new normal business environment. Lastly, the hotels. As we can see in the graph, the hotel affected the most during pandemic situation. The occupancy rate recorded the lowest in 2020 due to national lockdown and closed borders for travelers, causing the decrease in the tourist arrival to Malaysia. Moreover, although tourism industry being restricted and hotel sector being forced to shut its door during COVID-19, new players were seen to be continued to enter local hotel industry, as shown in the table on the right. For example, hotels in Jalan Ampang such as Fairmont KL and Jumeirah Hotel, most of the hotels are 4 to 5 star. The entering of this big brand in the local hotel sector will snatch away the market share, hence give it a very tough competition to be hotels. Overall, all commercial sector was affected during this pandemic. But in order to choose which one is the highest and the best use of the land, we will choose the least affected development plus the development that will adapt with the endemic situation in the future. From the property market overview just now, we have proposed to develop the service apartment on the land since it was affected the least and can adapt with the new normal, which added some of the new features. To discuss more on what this service apartment development has to offer, Adibah will give you an insight on the development component and the concept. I will pass to Adibah.
Okay, thanks, Ikwan. I will straight away dive into the proposed development. The name of the proposed development is Esquire Avenue. Esquire defines a person who holds a high rank or possesses a high social status. In a modern world, Esquire can be interpreted as someone who is elite and is at the top of the social class. Also, Esquire Avenue is a premium pandemic-friendly home with the slogan of a place to bring you safety, peace, and relief. Now, let's have a look at the development components. Next. Okay, so Esquire Avenue comprises 2 service apartment towers, namely Margrave and Marquess. Besides that, we have a sky garden named Sky Pavilion, and lastly, a retail podium named Esquire Walk. All names are picked to fit with the whole Esquire team. theme. Sorry. Okay, moving on. These are the main features of the service apartment units. Firstly, we offer a large floor size. Since the pandemic, the implementation of social distancing has accustomed us to having a personal space. Then the units will have a flexible spatial design. This is an example. It's just one space that can be converted into 3 other spaces such as office, guest bedroom, or even a den. Besides that, it will have germ-resistant building material. For instance, this is a countertop that is made of germ-resistant material, so your food ingredients will not contract harmful germs. Other than that, the units will also be equipped with an air purification system, indoor air quality sensor, and smart home technology. Okay, next. This is the distribution of service apartment units. For Esquire Avenue, we use a plot ratio of 1:9. Out of 59 levels, the service apartment towers will take up to 53 levels each, starting at level 5 onwards. Each tower offers 3 types of units named Baron, Count, and Earl. There are 212 units for Baron and Earl, while Count has 318 units. The built-up area starts at 750 square feet and the maximum size is 1,200 square feet. Baron offers 1 bed and 1 bath, while both Count and Earl house 2 beds and 2 baths. But Earl has an additional study room in its unit. The launching price starts at RM 1.2 million and the highest price is RM 2.3 million. Next. Esquire Walk is a 1-story retail podium. It comprises 10,000 square feet of net lettable area with a total of 10 retail lots. So 1,000 square feet will be allocated to each retail lot. Next. Residing at the top of Esquire Avenue, Sky Pavilion connects Margrave and Marquess. It gives residents a breathtaking view of KL's city skyline while enjoying multiple facilities to their content. Here you can see the list of facilities. The most prominent ones are the infinity pool, sky bar, spa, and a fine dining restaurant. Okay, next. Okay, what we're looking at here are the competitors of Esquire Avenue. There are 4 main competitors altogether, which are Le Nouvelle KLCC, Star Residences KLCC, Imperial Lexis, and lastly Isola at KLCC. Next. Okay, let's look at the features of these 4 competitors. As we can see, Le Nouvelle offers 3 dining options to its residents. Star Residences has Malaysia's first Star Walk of Fame. Imperial Lexis is crafted with quality finishes, even complete with private pools. And Isola has an automated car park system. If you notice, none of the competitors consider its residents' quality of life during the pandemic. That is why Esquire Avenue will feature the first pandemic-friendly premium service apartment. Then, the launching price of these competitors ranges from RM 1.0 million up to RM 5.0 million. So Esquire Avenue's price is somewhere in the middle, ranging from RM 1.3 million to RM 2.3 million. After that, we have a SWOT analysis of the proposed development. Okay, next. Firstly, the strengths of the proposed developments are, it is Malaysia's first premium pandemic-friendly home. It has a curated tenant mix, is positioned in an excellent location, and offers attractive facilities. As for the weakness, the land cost is high. Besides that, the proposed development unit has a high unit price, and lastly, congestion. Because it is surrounded by commercial and residential areas, the number of vehicles increase, especially during peak hours. For opportunities, there is an upcoming Ampang MRT station that is located close to the existing Ampang Park LRT station. Also, the development is surrounded by shopping malls, office towers, embassies, and many more attractive locations. This creates a higher footfall in the area. Other than that, the MM2H program has been reactivated. Okay, the final component is threats. The threats are existing competitors, market uncertainty due to COVID-19, and the overhang of the service apartment. All right, so now I'm done with my part. I will pass to Susan to continue the presentation.
All right, thank you, Adiba. So now we will look into the valuation and feasibility study of this proposed development. Next, please. So first, we will look at the residual method. And for the proposed development, we have adopted the residual method to value the land after it is proposed with the development. So the development's GDV is deducted with the GDC and the developer's profit to achieve the residual land value. And the residual land value is discounted to present value by 2 years and 8%. Finally, we get the present land value at the value of 552.56 million ringgit. So before we go into the cash flow, let us look into the disposal strategy of this proposed development. First of all, the preliminary work will occur in this year and the construction in the next 2 years. After this, we will look into the timeline in 3 main parts. The first is the sale of service apartments. We expect the units to be sold off completely in a longer period, which is 5 years. This is due to the higher selling price of the units, the overhang condition of the service apartment property market condition, and the market uncertainties caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, for the retail spaces, we expect that 70% of the spaces will be rented out upon the completion of the development in year 3. And from year 4 onwards, the forecasted occupancy will be 90%. Whereas for the Sky Garden facilities, such as the Sky Dining Restaurant, Sky Bar, and Spa, we assume all of them will be rented out completely upon the completion. Next. Now we will look into the projected cash flow of the proposed development. First of all, it is the cash inflow. For this proposal, the cash inflow is generated from 2 elements. The first is the sales of the service apartment units, and the second is the rental receivables from the retail lots and facilities. And the revenue generated from these 2 elements will be about 1.3 billion ringgit. Next, we will look into the cash outflow. The cash outflow can be divided into 3 main stages, which is pre, during, and post-construction. The fees before the construction stage include the contribution to DBKL and other statutory contributions, and this amount will be 244 million ringgit. The high amount is mainly contributed by the development charges on the plot ratio increment, because we have proposed to increase the plot ratio from 1:6 to 1:9, as mentioned by Adiba just now. And for the cash outflow involved during the construction, the main costs will be building costs, professional consultant fee, infrastructure costs, etc. And this will amount to 207 million ringgit. And finally, the cash outflow after the construction include the sales and marketing fees, which will cost 110,000 ringgit. The overall cash outflow is forecasted to be 451 million ringgit. Next, to ascertain the development's feasibility, we have taken into consideration a few measurements as shown in this slide. The first one is a net present value, NPV, and this records a positive figure of 551 million ringgit, indicating the development is worthwhile. And the next one is the WACC, which is the minimum required rate of return by the investors. So in this case, our WACC has a percent of 7.55%. And now let us look into the IRR for this project. The proposal has an IRR of 33.14%, which is an excellent indicator because it is much more higher than the WACC and indicate that the investor can expect great return from the proposal. The next one is the benefit cost ratio, which is 2.31. A BCR higher than 1 represents that the proposed development is able to generate more cash inflow than its cash outflow. As for the break-even analysis, as shown in the line graph on the right-hand side, the break-even is expected to occur in year 4, which means that the cost will be recovered starting from year 4 onwards. And to conclude, based on these measurements of feasibility study, we can say that the project is worthwhile in a whole picture. And next, to achieve a maximum profit, we have done some market targeting and position. Next. First, we will look at the target market. Our target market include the local T20s and the expatriates with small household size and the owner-occupiers. Next. Okay, let us look into the market position. To stand out from the other competitors, the unique selling point is very important. The unique selling point makes our proposal to occupy a distinctive position in the market. So the main selling point is that this project is the first pandemic-friendly home first luxury pandemic-friendly home in Malaysia, and it is located in an excellent location as mentioned before. And finally, the marketing strategy for the proposed development with the 4P marketing mix. First, we will look at the product. The product is designed to fulfill the demand of the targeted buyers, which is the local T20s and also the expatriates. And the product consists of two main components, which is the service residence and retail podium. The service residence is crafted incorporating various features to provide an ultimate 5-star living under the shadow of the pandemic. And also some facilities are provided as mentioned previously. And for the retail podium, the tenants are selected properly to comprehend the living experience of the buyer. So the proposed tenant mix is shown in this slide. And the food and beverages will take up the largest proportion. Next. Now we will look at the pricing analysis, and we have done some pricing analysis to set the best price for our proposed development. As shown in the slide here, the average transaction price of service apartment is 1,528 ringgit per square foot in the past 2 years, whereas the maximum recorded is 3,000 ringgit per square foot, and the minimum price is 829 ringgit per square foot. And based on this, the proposed price of the units is shown here. As shown in this table, we can see that the proposed price per square foot is slightly higher than the average, but still within the recorded maximum price. And it is considered reasonable since our proposed development has provided a lot of features in our units. Next, for the actual rental rate, the average rate is 4 ringgit and 42 cents per square feet. Maximum rate is 10 ringgit per square feet, whereas the minimum is 48 cents according to our findings. And based on this analysis, the proposed rental rate for our proposed development is shown in this table. And the Sky Garden facilities proposed rental rate will be 10 ringgit per square foot, whereas the retail podium will be 7 ringgit and 50 cents, which is also higher than average, but still within the highest recorded rental rate. Next. To conclude for the pricing strategy, we have adopted the high active pricing strategy. The high price is set to provide a prestige image, at the same time to represent the fine quality of the development. It is also an emphasis to the buyer that the high price represents high value to the targeted customer with high social status. Next. Now we look at the place. Place refers to the place to distribute the product. So for our product, it is a sell and build product. So we will mainly distribute the information of the product through two platforms, which is an on-site sales gallery and also the official property website. The last one is the promotion. There are 4 suggested ways to promote our proposed development, namely international promotion platform, because we have targeted some foreigner buyers, and official property website, virtual property tour, and property launching event. Next. So to conclude why we choose to develop Esquire Avenue, because it recorded an excellent IRR of 33% and a break-even point at year 4. And there's a huge increment of land value after we propose the development on the land. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 1. So we'll begin the Q&A session, and I'll start with perhaps Professor Dr. Anwar. Would you like to start the Q&A session?
I dulu ya.
Okay,
Because I'm the facilitator, but okay, I can ask another question also. Okay, Group 1. Okay, you mentioned about your development is a premium pandemic friendly home. What are the characteristics of this premier pandemic friendly home that you're going to promote?
These are some of the special features of our proposed units, and we have allocated a large floor size ranging from 750 square feet to 1,200 square feet, which is considered a quite large floor size compared to the other service apartment, which range from 500 to 800 something. And this will be a main feature for the pandemic home, because due to the pandemic, nearly all of us have to stay at home for a very long time, and a large space very important. And this is supported by other features such as flexible spatial design, germ-resistant building material, and the other three as shown in this slide.
Okay. With this kind of the characteristic, how much the cost increase for your development?
For this, building cost will be 2,000 ringgit per square foot. Compared to the market is around 1,300 per square foot for the building cost.
Okay, with these features, are you what is the price like for your development?
So this is the launching price based on the pricing analysis done according to the transaction record from NAPIC. And based on this, we have come to a conclusion for the proposed pricing, ranging from 1,700 ringgit to 1,950 ringgit.
Okay, meaning that, are you sure that you can sell this one based on your marketing plan?
We assume to sell.
How sure you can sell this with this price range? You start with 1.2 million, and then the highest is nearly to 2 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
Per unit.
So it might be a bit difficult in the beginning due to the softer market condition, but we assume to sell all of the units in a longer period for 5 years time. And at year 5, the sale will be 100% completed.
Okay, my last question, okay. You have a SWOT analysis, isn't it? What are the strategy you're going to employ to turn the threat into opportunity and weakness into opportunity?
How is our proposed development going to overcome the weakness and threat? Is it?
Yeah. How the strategy to overcome the threat and weakness?
Right. Okay. Let me answer for that question.
All right.
So for the weakness, right? So for the weakness here, we stated that the high land cost, and of course the unit price. This is to ensure the unit price can get to overcome to cover the land cost, and of course the traffic congestion, we cannot avoid that, but we have better flow of the road, then we can overcome of this weakness. And for the threats, the threat, for example, is existing competitors. So as for the existing competitors, there's a lot of service apartment in Jalan Ampang area and also around the Bukit Bandar KL, but with a good strategy and good concept of the development, such as the premium pandemic friendly, which is not other service apartment can do that. So that's how we overcome the threats. And for the overhang of the service apartment, this is mostly due to the pandemic situation, but by applying of this new concept of the service apartment, so we sure that this threat will be overcome. Yeah.
Okay. Your IRR is at 33 plus, isn't it? 33 plus. Okay. What you can say with this kind of IRR, 33.14, is it a good investment, mediocre investment, or just a fair investment with this kind of the IRR? What is the IRR indicate for your project?
All right. In our opinion, an IRR as high as 33 is a very excellent investment, because in a property development project, usually we target for a minimum 15%. 15 is the benchmark, and higher than that is all acceptable. And in this case, we have a recorded 33.14%. And in our opinion, this is a very good investment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, over to you, Dr. Zafira.
All right, thank you, Prof. Anwar. So I'll open another question perhaps from Dr. Surveyor Zahiria.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning. Yeah, first of all, can I see your detailed calculation? Where do that detailed calculation? Okay, so you project that this development will be sold and in 7 years' time.
In 5 years' time, but due to the progressive payment schedule, we follow that schedule, and the payment will be received completely in year 7.
Year 7, and your break even year 4.
Year 4, yeah.
Gross development cost. In GDC, where did you put the land cost?
We don't include the land cost in the GDC because the land is already registered under the name of the developer. And in this case, the land comes from the land bank of the developer. That's why it is not included as a cost to the developer.
That's why you have to include the land cost, because if the developer doesn't want to develop the land, yeah, the land is still asset to the developer. They can sell it to somebody else and get the money without doing anything. And then why did you do the valuation for the land value? Can you scroll to the residual method of valuation? So what the purpose you get the the value of the land?
In this case, we have done the residual valuation to determine the land value after the proposed development. So from our valuation, we can know that with the proposed development, the value can be, I can scroll down a bit. With the proposed development, the value will be 522 million.
So if the developer want to sell the land, yeah, without developing, yeah, the vacant land, you said that the fair price is 522 million, right?
Yes.
So why the developer? What I want to tell you is why we find the land value, yeah, is to determine the land cost. Yeah, the land cost is actually part and parcel of the gross development value, gross development cost. Sorry. So in your calculation, why you get high internal rate of return? Because you exclude the land cost. Yeah, although the land is belong to the developer now, yeah, last time the developer have to buy the land. They already incur cost, yeah, in getting the land to be in their land bank. Yeah, bukan dia dapat free. Yeah, although kalau dia dapat free pun, the land cost is still there. Yeah, that's mean without doing anything, they can sell the land. Yeah.
I think what Dr. Zahira means is the holding cost, right, of the land, is it, Dr. Zahira?
No, not the holding cost of the land cost itself. Okay. Susan, did you include the historical purchase of land in your cash flow calculation?
No.
No. That's why. Yeah. Maknanya tak ada satu elemen, ya, the land cost you tak letak kat situ. Ya, so you punya return tu sebenarnya inclusive of the land value of the land cost. Ya, dia tak bersih.
Can I interject sikit? But it's not to cover the group, Dr. Zai. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. I think we have to look into the other group as well, whether they include or not exclude. Okay, because based on the discussion before, the land cost actually for this land is tremendously high. That's why
Yeah.
that's why if whatever the department you put in will be not feasible. This is for the sake of the academic task. I don't think let's see the other group if they put in, and then kita tengok macam mana. But not to say that I'm trying to cover this group, but based on the pre-discussion with the facilitator, there is no other way rather than to exclude the land cost.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that, the panel? Because to be fair to the other this group and the other.
No, because the principle is wrong. Yeah.
I know. As a facilitator, I know that is wrong. But in this case, it's a very special. Unless we put because the transaction record is the 330 million, the land price is too high to be absorbed.
Yeah, but then
that is my my view. We look into the other group. Is the other group managed to treat this the land cost, then we give a fair assessment to the group.
Because we are looking at the internal rate of return. Yeah. Kalau apa ni, because kita kena tahulah what is cash in, what is cash out, and of course the land cost.
I know that. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think that I don't know how to
No, Dr. Anwar, I don't say that you are wrong. I know, but I just want students to understand.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
And
we
one
must
more
give
thing,
a fair treatment to the group rather than to say that the group is then doing a wrong approach, because if the other group include the land cost, and then we can say that this group is wrong. That is because the basic principle.
No. Actually, it's a process of learning, Dr. Anwar. We cannot say student is wrong. Yeah. And I didn't say the student is wrong. I say in terms of concept, we have to include.
Okay, whatever, Zahira.
And then one more thing, I want to know regarding the PV. Your residual method, PV 2 years is not enough lah. Yeah, for this type of development. Yeah, at least 3 years. That's my comment. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I think we have overused the Q&A time. So thank you to the panels as well as group 1. We'll see you guys again after the break for task 2 presentation. Well done, group 1. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Anwar. Thank you, Dr. Zahira.
So we'll move to the next group, which is group 3. Group 3, are you guys ready?
Yes,
Doctor. Okay. Oh, Lee Kuan Yew group. Okay.
Yeah. Memang.
Oh wait, you group means I lah facilitator kan? Kakak.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, so you can share your screen.
First. Let me give me a second. I'll close other unnecessary window first.
Yes, please. And make sure that your screensaver is children friendly, okay? Even though we are not children.
Of course. Okay. Yes. So. Wait.
Okay, 61 slides in 20 minutes, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay, this is group 3. Group 2. Oh,
Group 3.
On Wednesday.
Okay, sorry.
And how do I build myself first? Oh, atas, okay. Wichi, if you feel okay, then you can start.
Okay, are you guys ready? Can we start now?
Yes. So,
Yes.
good morning to Prof. Dr. Surveyor Anwar, Dr. Surveyor Zahira, and Surveyor Abdul Ghani. And then last one is the Dr. Surveyor Zafira. We are from Group 1 and we are going to present about the integrated project on SWOT. So we are presented for Fudosan Properties in Jalan Berhad. This presentation comprises of the brief information of site and market and development proposal, as well as the financial appraisal of this development. So next one. I'll explain about the brief information of the site and location. Okay, the site is located at Jalan Ampang with the size of 3.08 acres and the tenure is term in perpetuity. The land use of the subject site is building. The express condition and the restriction in interest of the subject site is nil. And then it is registered under Fudosan Properties in Jalan Berhad. As you can see, the subject site is at the fringe of KLCC, and then the middle ring road 2, which is known as MRR2, divides the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. As you can see, on the left-hand side of MRR2 is Kuala Lumpur, and the right-hand side is Selangor area. So next slide. The fact of the site is it is located in a matured neighborhood which comprises from residential, retail, as well as office. It is also near to essential service such as fire station, healthcare institution, as well as police station. It is also near to the shopping complex such as Intermart Mall and as well as the Link KL. So it is also accessible by public transport for LRT Ampang Park and then MRT to Ampang Park Station 2. The institution nearby comprises from a primary level to tertiary level. The site is easy to be developed because it is rectangular alike in shape and then it is in the first layer and flat in terrain. But the site is not a vacant land. It is formerly used as a British Embassy office. Next. So this is the site plan of the subject site. And then the site view is, this one is the front view of the subject site, which is the British office building. This is the main building, and then this is the aerial view. So next one. Next one, I'll pass to Noor Izwani.
Thank you, Pua. Now I will explain a brief information regarding the social demographic study. Next. On the screen right now, it shows the household income distribution in 2019 between 4 states, Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Pulau Pinang, and Johor. More than 30,000 ringgit Malaysia is the average of Kuala Lumpur income earned, followed by Selangor, Johor, and Pulau Pinang. This graph shows the indicator of buying capacity of the market in that area. For the further market study, I will pass to Nur Wahida to explain.
Thank you, Nur Izwani. Next, I will present about property market conditions in Kuala Lumpur. Next. For residential property market, as you can see, the volume and value is dropped in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic, and our economy is not performing well, seeing implementation of a movement control order, which result in negative cross development product. For sale performance for new launches property in 2020, it shows that there are 1,100 units, which is higher compared to past 3 years, but the sales performance is not good in 2020. And for number of property overhang increase, basically the current property overhang is the cause of weak housing demand, which is result of a slowing economy, unemployment, and low market sentiment. Next, for commercial property market, the volume and value recorded the lowest in 3 years' time, because there is no demand for commercial property, and the number of property overhang also increased. And for a period of shopping complex and purpose-built office, it is decreased in 2020 because there are some of economic activities cannot be operated and many business premises are forced to shut down. So that is indicate for oversupply to shopping complex and purpose-built office. Next, I will pass to Izzat.
Thank you, Wahida. Now let's look at the competitor analysis. Next. For the competitor analysis, the existing and coming competitor within 3 kilometer radius has been identified. Since our proposed development as high-end luxury product, only the high-end luxury product will be taken into consideration as our competitor. However, by looking at the table, we can see that there are a lot of competitors surrounding our proposed site. So we randomly select some of the data to be analyzed. With that being said, the existing competitor 3, area luxury resident Rimbun M0 and residency upcoming competitor, the competitor that been analyzed are 1 Cochrane, Pavilion, Kelon, Hill, Eaton Resident, the Conde, Isola KLCC, Core Residence, and Pavilion Embassy. Move on to the pricing analysis.
Izzat, I think you are lagging. Izzat, is my own problem or everyone are hearing?
Yes, I will do. I cannot hear anything.
Oh, okay. Izzat, I will take over from here. I will continue with your part, okay? Maybe you can mute first. So let me do a simple recover based on the just now what Izzat is saying. Actually, we have select few of the competitor, such as you can see here, from our existing competitor and as well as our upcoming competitor. So now we will be talking in depth into the price in terms of the competitor analysis, which first we will go with the pricing analysis in terms of price per square feet. So as you can see, this graph comprises of the randomly selected competitor. So at the left hand side, you can say the service apartment at the minimum price is starting from 548 ringgit per square feet up to 2,000 ringgit and 90 per square feet, with the average of 1,480 ringgit. Okay, so it's worth to mention that the Pavilion Embassy Phase 1, which is the service apartment, which built in front of our site as a strongest competitor, I would say. Actually, they offer a price for service apartment there is 1,300 ringgit Malaysia up to 1,800 ringgit Malaysia. As for condominium, as you can see here, actually we got only retrieve 4 information here, with a lowest price is 447 ringgit Malaysia up to 2,368 ringgit Malaysia, with an average price of the condominium offered by this competitor is actually for around 1,182 ringgit. So comparing the service apartment and condominium, actually you can see service apartment usually offer higher in price because of its commercial title, and mostly it's because of a service provided, which is much more various and much more diverse in terms of the service provider as compared to condominium. Next, we will talk about the demand analysis. So we have selected few 5 competitors which their launch year is in between 2018 to 2019 to 2020 to further analyze into their average sales per project per annum. So as you can see here, we have obtained the take rate for each phase or each development. So starting from the 2018, actually most of the competitor has been fully sold out, except the 1 Cochrane which only have a 80% take-up rate as far as we obtain the information. While in 2019 and 2020, actually we can say their sales is relatively good compared to the 2018 launch, because the Conle which it launched last year, actually they have crashed with the COVID-19 pandemic still. With that, they can achieve a 64% of take-up rate, even that this is their part of the development only. So by doing some quick calculation, actually we can arrive at an average sales per project per annum, which is 112 unit. So we can say that this figure can be a parameter and as a point of reference for us to assume our development will also sell at least as this much for the next few years. Okay, next. So the Conley, like I said just now, and the Pavilion Embassy, which is opposite our development, also have a full take-up rate already, an average of 83 occupancy rate. And now we will look into the product analysis which offered by this competitor, and you can actually see that most of the competitor, they offer a product starting from 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom from 1 study room, while only a few penthouse or 4 bedroom or duplex or dual key are being offered by this competitor. Now, in terms of discount package, actually we have taken some sampling of discount package available in this among these competitor, which you can see they offer a variety range of discount rates. And most of the competitor here, they offer a fully or either partially furnished to the home buyer. And normally, as you can see here, the highest discount package offered by the competitor is Isola KLCC with 30% of the discount package, while the core resistant is the lowest one with 5% discount package. And that is for competitor. Yes. Okay. Now I will be continue with the development proposal, which is we'll talk about the redevelopment strategy and mode of development. Okay. So now redevelopment strategy. Since our land is has erected building which is not yet clear or what, so in this case the supply driven strategy will be used, which is to redevelop land to meet the future demand, because consider our land is located in the fringe of the KL city center. So actually the current use of the former use as a British embassy is no longer catch up with the high and best use principle whenever we talk about the land development, property development. And in terms of mode of development, we will advise the client to use the sell and build concept for this proposed development project, because by doing this, the cost of financing can be reduced in certain degree. And now we talk about the development component. Okay, with the property market scenario being explained by my colleague, by my group member Wahida, actually we can say that the site is no longer suitable to be built for the office building as well as the shopping complex. So mainly for our site, we will to propose to build a high-end residential luxury service apartment, the real type one, provided with in-house keeping or the housekeeping staff or something like that, and together with one single commercial shop lot with self-management with single tenant only. So this is actually to become part of the attractiveness to this development. And I will talk about the planning provision. Must be strictly adhere to. So the zoning actually currently fall under the commercial, which with a plot ratio of 1:6 according to DBKL after we consult with them. And as you can see here, for the commercial zoning, actually they got different type of property allowable to be built. And you can see, like I say just now, we will propose to do a retail, which is allowed, and service apartment, which is allowed with condition by the local authority. And next, and we'll do a quick summary for the planning permission. So our unit is commercial, like I say, and the plot ratio is actually 1:6.5 instead of 1:6. Since our subject site is located within a transit-oriented development, which we could get extra incentive of 0.5 plot ratio for free. And the prime area is 60% with an open space of 10% required, and Bumi Kota is 30% of maximum unit with 5% discount. The car park requirement for TOD development is actually minimum 1 per unit plus 10% of visitor parking based on total amount of unit. So for example, maybe if our proposed unit is 100 unit, then the visitor parking should be at least 10. And unit size, the DBKL has strongly regulate this, which is say that small unit which fall within this range can only be at max of 50% total unit, while our proposed development, which I will going to explain next, is not fall in this range. So our development is strong adhere to this guideline. And other than that, we will advise to apply for changing plot ratio up to 1:9 from 1:6.5. It's because in order for the development to be financially feasible, and actually the 1:9 is the option we have right now. Okay, now I will talk about the development composition. So the space allocation, like we said, we have changed the plot ratio to 1:9, so it allows us to build out a floor area with up to 1.2 million roughly And actually, you can see we provide service apartment and commercial with 5 types of service apartment. You can see here the layout starting from 1+1 room up to 4 room. And the build-out area, the smaller one is 980 square feet, and up to the biggest one is 2,760. So the variety of the build-out area allowed different choices for the purchaser, either is from local or either from the investor foreign country or MM2H program participant. And with that, we have provide a total unit of 630 units for the service apartment, plus 1 commercial unit with 24,000 square feet. And now we will move into layout plan, as you can see. So we will advise the development to be in this style, which the top will be the guard house. You can see the blue color, and the purple is actually the arrival hall. And this arrival at the top is actually linked to the retail located at the podium level. And the lobby A and lobby B, of course, is the access floor for the residents from Tower A and Tower B. And we also do provide advice the service, MMEs, etc. to put at the back of the development. And the car park will be passed by underneath the building at the central area here. And this will be the area for the visitor, for the client of the retail, or as well as the resident as well, to park their car to the car park floor respectively. Now we talk about podium. So actually the podium comprises of 2 components mainly, which is the commercial and the service apartment area. So first we will talk about the service apartment. As you can see, this is the floor level plan we will propose. And even though you can see the 2 building here component is actually not connected with a corridor, however, we will still treat this as a 1 tower because they are connected by the sky facility. So this is it for the service apartment. As for the cafe, the retail here, we will propose a glass box type of cafe, which you can see the window is accessible so that people can enjoy meal or enjoy their coffee during break or whatever time. And they can also enjoy the scenario of the Kuala Lumpur city center. So during daytime, maybe they can operate as a cafe and maybe to provide some Western food. And during nighttime, actually, they can turn their business model into the fine dining style. So this glass box cafe is actually accessible by the public as well as the resident as well. And now in terms of facility, we will advise we will advise to definitely put some facility included sky facility, the multi-purpose hall, of course, the BBQ pit, infinity pool at the sky level, co-working spaces, as well as a Zen garden maybe for meditation. So now I will talk about the recommend pricing for our development. So we will recommend our pricing for within this range with 1,650 ringgit big units for the big unit and 2,000 ringgit for the small unit. Okay, so the following table at the bottom here show the price charge for respective type unit service apartment. And for the retail unit, based on our survey from the NAPIC, and we will recommend a rental between 6 ringgit 50 cents up to 7 ringgit per square feet. So now we will talk about the development timeline. And our development timeline can be separated into 7 years, which the first 4 years will be comprised of preliminary work together with the construction work. And the last 3 years will be only for delivery of vacant possession. Since our project is not yet obtained any DO, and then we will advise the client to do a soft launch at the very beginning to see the booking, to see the take-up rate, which during this period, the SPA will not be signed, only will be signed once the project have official launch. So the cash inflow from the sales of project actually only start from the year 2, which year 1 will be solely we have to cash outflow only lah. So now I will pass the last part, which is the financial appraisal, to Noor Wahida, my crew member, for further detail analysis, for further presentation.
Thank you, Lik Guan. Next, I will present about financial appraisal. Basically, the financial appraisal consists of 3 parts, which is a development charge, cash flow, and residual methods. So in order to achieve the financial appraisal, we adopt an investment method to arrive the capital value for the retail lot after the development finish, since the components would not be sold. Next. For investment valuation, we will use the term in perpetuity at 7% to get the capital value for our retail spaces in the future. So the capital value for retail spaces is 21 million. Then this amount will be applicable inside the calculation of development charge, cash flow, and as well as residual method. Next. For development charge, like my group member just now said, we need to pay for development charge because of an enhanced inland value due to changing of plot ratio from 1 to 6.5 to 1 to 9. According to Federal Territory Act 1982, development charge are mandatory for any development that enhance the value of the land by means of changing the zoning, population density, and plot ratio. And in our case, development charge would be imposed at the rate of 50% according to first schedule, and the calculation has shown in the next slide. So, for the calculation of development charge is we need to calculate the residual land value before the changing of plot ratio, which means that the first valuation will be based on plot ratio 1 to 6.5, and the second valuation is based on 1 to 9. And after we use the residual method, which is gross development value minus gross development cost, the final land value we obtain for development charge after PV based on plot ratio 1 to 6.5 is 480 million, and based on plot ratio 1 to 9 is 722 million. Next. And after the PV, the differences between the land value after the changing of plot ratio is 242 million. And in this case, our development charge will be 50%. So the final development charge arrived for this increasing in plot ratio is 121 million. For cash flow, cash flow is the initial stage of the feasibility study, and in this analysis, the most important elements are the cash inflow and cash outflow. The future inflow and outflow are projected up to 7 years. Up to 7 years, and cash flow is based on Schedule H payment released by the bank and also based on the sales number of units. And after the cash inflow is obtained, then we will less the discount for early bird and Bumi Putra allocation and add up the market rental for retail space. Since we are not going to sell our retail lot, so we have used the investment method to obtain the market value term in perpetuity, as I mentioned just now. And for our cash flow analysis, the market value of retail lot was count in year 5. Since we only finished our development on year 4, we will access our gross development value for the respective year up to year 7. So the total gross development value is 1.6 billion. Next. For the gross development cost, the total construction cost and other development costs that we obtained are 404 million and 682 million respectively. So the total of development cost is 1.05 billion, and we only access our gross development cost up until year 5 only. Next. And in order to cover the cost of construction in the first year, which is negative 652 million, the capital structure formed based on the equity and loan should have at least 659 million, which this amount will be used to cover the first year cost. With this capital structure, WACC is 7.78%. To get IRR, we would need to discount the cash flow into present value using WACC as our discount rate. We obtain a net present value at 177 million and an IRR of 7.17%. Next. For break-even point, as you can see, the positive cash flow will be obtained after year 4. Next. For residual method, to obtain the increment of land value after development take place, residual method which take into consideration of development cost has been conducted. After deducting the gross development costs from the gross development value, we obtain the value at 817 million. After deduct the development profits at 10% of gross development value, the residual land value after PV with 7.78% at 4 years, we obtain 606 million. With this value, after we deduct the purchase price of the land, the increment in land value is 257 million. Next. So based on the study has been done, it can be concluded that the development is not viable. As you can see, the IRR is lower than WACC, which means the project returns cannot cover the cost financing. And this happens next. And this happened because of several reasons, including low absorption rate of high-end or luxury condominium or service apartment in condominium, resulting in longer periods of disposal term. And second is uncertainty of construction costs. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the supply chain of the raw material for construction development has been severely impacted, which the shipping costs and freight delays or low rate supply is the main contributor. And according to Development of Statistic Malaysia, the building material cost index without steel bars recorded an increase of between 1.3% and 3.0% for all buildings categories in Peninsular Malaysia in July 2021 as compared to June 2021. So we would like to recommend the client to postpone the development to year 2023 or 2024. This is because when the herd immunity is achieved, Malaysia economy will start to slowly recover, and all the related parties of construction sector will slowly reopen, and the supply chain will eventually stable. The construction cost will be more stable, and the annual inflation rate will be lower as well. Lower cost means higher profit margins or lower high selling price that can increase the absorption rate. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 3. So I'm going to open the Q&A session with Surveyor Ghani. Surveyor Ghani, do you have any question?
All right, Assalamualaikum, good morning. Thank you, Group 3, for a great presentation and great use of slides and all. Well, generally it was a good presentation with lots of data. Probably I just have a couple of questions. One you just mentioned just now, you opt for the single tenant only, right, for your retail outlets, right? So why do you go for single tenant? What are the benefits that you gain as a developer or as the owner of the land over multiple tenants?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So actually, because we are not advised to do the retail complex with multiple tenants, first and foremost is actually the oversupply of the shopping complex, which Wahida have explained, because actually the current occupancy rate of the retail complex only go as high near 80%, which is recorded by the NEPIC last year. However, we actually we will say that the next year will be even lower, which we will say that because the tenancy agreement between the retail complex is actually based on the lease agreement. Normally will be 3 year or 2 year or 1 year time, something like that. So the last year is the first year which COVID-19 strike. So by that time, maybe the tenancy agreement has not reviewed. So actually that part does not reflect on the data of the last year gathered by the NEPIC. So only by this year, we can only see what actually the real occupancy rate will look like with the strike of COVID-19. And secondly, our development component actually mainly is the service apartment, which can be said as the main role for our development. While this commercial shop lot with single tenant going to be mainly for F&B tenant type. Actually, this one is actually part of the component which adhere to service apartment. Because this one actually not only to serve the public, actually they can provide in-house dining to the service apartment, the resident site. So maybe people that want to go out, actually they can ask for in-house dining. So this shop lot will be deliver the food to their doorstep. So this one actually is not the main role. This is the propaganda, the main role. So I would say we only provide a single tenant only. This is the two of reason. First is the oversupply of space. And second part, this one is not the main contributor to our development component.
Okay, that's fair. How do you make selection of the tenant then? Because you will what you call depend on just one sort of business entity, right? For your restaurant, for your retail.
For now, actually, we will advise the business type which is closely related to the daily routine. So the daily routine, of course, what we need, the most important one is food and water lah. So actually for this commercial lot, actually we will advise the food and beverage instead of other type of the business, because also this commercial lot and this business is not only for the service apartment itself, actually it's also open to the public, which they can access to this commercial shop lot only. So we will advise F&B is the best for now, unless we can further justify any good type of development, because actually if using other type of business, other type of tenant, it will not give a good sustainability toward the whole development itself.
Okay, acceptable. Yeah, because it is very important, right? Because you only depend on one single tenant, and you will hope that the tenancy will, you know, sort of continuance, right, for a certain period of time. So it makes a sustainable sort of feature for your project cost and all that. Another one probably because of your prices, right? 2,000 per square foot, right? In average, right? For a unit, it seems to be. Of course, although it is what we call comparable to the competitors, but it is probably on the higher side as well. So what's so unique about your units, about your project that you can sell at that top price?
Actually, if we by looking at this pricing, maybe a lot of people will feel ridiculous. But if we look at the bigger picture, so actually the land supply around the Jalan Ampang is not that a lot, which means the land along the Jalan Ampang area for the KL area part actually more scarce, which means result in that definitely the demand will go high. And other than that, actually, if we talk about the KL city center fringe area and using our direct competitor, which is the Bali Embassy, they offer a price up to 1,800, the net pricing lah. So, but their one development will be finished in 2022, and ours, according to current timeline, as you can see here, we expect to finish in year 4. Is we starting from next year construction, which will only finish in 2026. So by that time, when a newly produced property product has been promoted or given to the resident or the home buyer, of course, by that time also the market prices will increase. So that is why we choose to go for higher size. And actually, you can see we use a different composition, actually as part of the strategy to promote our development, to sell our unit.
Probably one last question. What would happen? Let's say if the project has completed and then you have got some buyers, right? Some percentage of buyers, the take up of the units. But what would happen after your projected 7 years? You still not achieve the 100% sort of sold of the units. What will be your next strategy?
Okay, so to talk about strategy, maybe we'll talk with our current strategy first lah. So actually, as you can see, the cash inflow, actually if go for 7 years already. With that, when we discounted back to our current value, we can only achieve an IRR of 7.17%. So if the things did not go according to we expect according to this cash flow, maybe the IRR will be even lower, which indicate this development is not even viable. Actually, part of the reason that IRR is lower than WSCC is actually 2 of here. And one more thing is actually the high acquisition cost, which is relatively high as compared to surrounding land, because even when a land is located within the KL city area around the TRX nearby, actually the land only sold 1,600 per square feet only. So actually, we will say this high acquisition cost will actually give a huge burden to this development and will be a bigger concern for us during this financial appraisal for this cash flow.
Okay, I think that's all from me, Dr. Zakaria. Thank you. Thank you, Likwan.
All right. Thank you, Surveyor Gani. Perhaps we can open one more question from the panel. If Prof. Anwar, do you have any question for this group?
Thank you, Dr. Zafira. I just want to ask, are you include the land cost for this for your cash flow for residual valuation?
Actually, we include for the cash flow. You can see here.
Yeah, and your residual.
Residual we didn't include.
What the reason that you didn't put the land cost?
Because actually the acquisition cost, which we will say the 348 million, actually is not the intrinsic value of the vacant land itself. as the British Embassy. So this is not the reason why we didn't include that for the residual method.
Okay, that means you are not including the land cost for your residual method. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
With the
comment.
IR 7%, with the IR 7%, what do you think of this kind of IR?
Actually, this IR is I would say relatively low, not ideal IRR for most of the developer, because maybe most of the developer will expect an IRR which will near as their profit the 10%. So with this low IRR compared to their cost of financing, cost of capital here, actually this project is not viable, and that's the reason why we will say we can propose the development to be delayed into 2023 and 2024, and by the time economy recover, better absorption rate, and we will have a stable construction cost.
Okay, your residual method, with 2,000 per square foot selling price average, you consider the price for the 2023 or now, and then your 1 billion plus residual method just now is referring to the development proposal that you're going to embark, or now?
You mean the price we talk
the
using
2000
here is
It's a-
using
it's a-
from now point or future point?
Now and future.
Actually,
For the 2000.
for the 2000 comprise both actually, because we cannot solely based on the future price one. So actually we arrive this one. Actually maybe with this, maybe with simple explanation, by looking at the Pavilion Embassy for their service department, actually they offer up to 1,800 after the, which is the net pricing. If we take out the discount and rebate, if we look back, is their gross pricing, which is the listing price. Actually, their price per square feet also 2,000.
Your residual 722 million is for the residual in taking into account you started the project 2023 and
2000 selling price, yes, 2023.
How about the residual?
Also the same. Also we will
how
use
long the
that.
development period that you put in?
Development period. Construction will be 4 years, and 3 years will be
in your residual method.
In our residual method. 4 years we will say, because we PV 4 years.
You PV 4 years, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lekwan.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think Dr. Zai wanted to say something. Dr. Zai, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to comment, not really to ask question. Yeah, I think this group is good in terms of the calculation and then the recommendation as well. Yeah, don't be afraid. Yeah, if you want, if the project is not viable, just say. Yeah, just say that we as consultant we have to recommend to the developer. We have to advise them whether the development is viable or not. For your project, since you did thorough calculation and everything, and it's come out it's not viable, just tell them it's not viable. Don't just simply give high hopes to the developers, which is actually not realistic. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So well done, group 3. So we'll see you guys again after this, okay? After the break, perhaps. All right, thank you. Well done. So,
thank you, Prof. Thank you,
thank you to the
everyone.
finals as well. Yes, thank you, League One and the group. Just to reiterate that this year's IP, there's no individual presentation mark. It's a group effort. So it's a group marks, okay, from the panel. So group 5, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So are you ready, Minyao? Minyo? Minyo, mute.
Sorry. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right, you can start. Well, good luck.
Okay, so good morning to all of the panels present here today, Dr. Zafira, Dr. Zahiria, Sajani, as well as Professor Dr. Anwar. We Group 5 will be presenting task 1 of our integrated project. Representing our group is Minya as the appointed leader, followed by Siu Ching, Chua Tian Wan, myself, Muhammad Afiq Daniel, Nurul Alia, and Yumin Kai as the team members. Next. We were appointed by Fudasan Property Sendirian Berhad to prepare a redevelopment study report of the proposed development site identified under Lot 258 Bandar Kuala Lumpur. Next. This is the particular subtitle of the subject site. Next. And this is the site plan. Next. The site is about 3.08 acres, rectangular in shape, and has a flat terrain. Here's a picture of our proposed site. Next. According to DBKL, our proposed site is zoned under commercial with a plot ratio of 1:6 and is located under a transit planning zone as well as the fringe of the Golden Triangle area. Most of the surrounding development is zoned under main commercial, and the site has the potential to convert to a 1:8 plot ratio. Next. The proposed development site is located somewhere along Jalan Ampang and is 1.8 kilometers away from Petronas Twin Towers. As you can see, the site also has good accessibility to major roads such as Jalan Tun Razak and Akle. Next. As we know, the subject site is predominantly commercial in character, and therefore we can see some fully matured commercial developments surrounding the site. Also, there are some public transport and essential services surrounding the site located within a 1 kilometer radius. Now I will pass this on to Chua.
So next, we go to the market study. So first of all, look at the demographics, right? So when you look at the indicators for both Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur, population for both indicators are increasing, right? Along with the median age, where the ethnicity are mostly Bumi-Putra, right? Whereas the proportion of Kuala Lumpur is much more balanced out, right? And the number of persons in household for Malaysia is 3.9% per household. But for Kuala Lumpur, it's much smaller, 3.3% per household, which means it's much more feasible to build a smaller unit, right? And the median household income is an increasing trend, right? And although there's a drop in 2020 due to COVID-19. So next, we move to the economic outlook. So overall, almost every indicators, right, in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur has shown increasing trend, right? Although there's a drop in 2020 for every indicators here, especially for the OPR, where prior to 2020, we have its rate around 3%, but now it's at 1.75% at the lowest in the history of Malaysia, which means that it's proved to be the lowest borrowing cost for any development to start right now, right? So next, we look at the property market analysis. So for Kuala Lumpur, we're looking at service apartment where it has its supply and space available increasing, but the planned supply has shown decreasing trend if you look for the past 5 years time, right? And the unsold service apartment is increasing as well, no? Due to previously under construction projects. They are slowly completed one by one because, as we all know, development don't complete in 1 year time, right? It took 3 to 4 or 5 years. So that's the stages, right? And for Soho, right, we see in the supply and space available, and it's at an increasing rate, and the demand is much more towards service apartment, which is why later on we'll show why we do service apartment instead of Soho for the proposed land. So for both proposed built office and shopping complex, they are at the decreasing rate for occupancy rate, right? And although at the same time the supply is increasing as well, right? So generally all of them shown drop in 2020 due to COVID-19. So next, for the competitor analysis, I'll pass to Alia.
Thank you, Chua. I'll continue competitor analysis. As you can see in this slide, these are all the potential competitors within the range of 2 kilometers from the proposed site. The yellow in color is existing competitors and the green in upcoming competitors. Next. For the analysis,
From all the competitors, the biggest layout offered by BIE3008 Residence, while Azen Bukit Bintang offer the smallest layout. Most of the competitors are including the 1 to 2 bedroom layout in their development. Next, discount analysis. Basically, all the competitors offer at least 10% discount package. This is to make sure that the buyer could get their dream house with a zero down payment. Most of them offer free stamp duties, legal fees, and MOT. Most of them offer fully furnished. Next, pricing analysis. Most of the competitors are selling at around 700K to 1.5 million for starting price. The maximum price also capped at around 3 million, and this has indicated that the selling price of service resident in the area will be around at 7K to 3 million. Next, while for price per square feet, most of constructing competitors are offering an average price range at 1,300 per square feet to 1,900 square feet. Next. Lastly, the demand analysis. According to the demand analysis, the absorption rate per annum for Kuala Lumpur is recorded at total 371 units per annum, while for per project recorded a number of 115 units per annum. So that's all from me. I'll pass the presentation to Afiq.
Thank you, Alia. I will explain about our SWOT analysis. For strength, our subject development strength is that we are located at a strategic location. The development is surrounded with corporate office and business building, as it is located at business district area as explained before. Another strength is high accessibility and rectangular shape with flat terrain, which makes the development easier to do planning. For weakness, one of the weakness is we only have limited option for development. The subject site is zoned under commercial with high plot ratio. It only allows to propose development high-rise commercial development such as service apartment, SOHO, office building, or retails. However, currently, most of the commercial development are having overhang issues, which narrowed the option of development to service apartment and SOHO as explained before by Chua. Another weakness is that the land price is high since the land is in the city center. For opportunities, the opportunities for our subject development are high, population density, and household income. As explained before, Kuala Lumpur has a high median and mean household income. This means that there will always have demands for accommodation, either renting it or own it. Another opportunity is high investment potential. For threats, the threats that this development counter is the intense competition. The site is surrounded by many existing developments and upcoming development. Therefore, the developer needs to think of a unique way to attract the target market to buy the units. Other threats for us are the uncertainty of housing market due to COVID-19. Next. So from the SWOT analysis, we formulated two strategies which are combined strategy and switch strategy. Combined strategy highlights the combination of strength and opportunities together to help in the successfulness of the subject development to fulfill the highest and best use of the site. For example, the strategic location of the subject development site and the availability of various accessibility as well as the high demand for investment purpose at that area. Since the development is located at the center of Kuala Lumpur, it has good accessibility that connects both the north and south sides of the subject sites. This will be able to attract potential house buyers that seek house that is near to their workplace or investor that is seeking good prospect to invest by leasing to workers who need accommodation. For switch strategy, we could see that the weakness can be overcome to take advantage of the opportunities. For example, the presence of competitors in the market due to the limited option for development. To overcome this, developer can propose development with a unique approach to attract buyers, such as personifies the ultimate sky living experience. And we also applied a differentiation strategy with the idea to create a new conception for the development that able to generate higher revenue per square foot. And we also advise our client to demolish the existing building and carry out a new development that utilize the land to the maximum level. Next. This is the proposed development logo and slogan recommended to our client, known as Innova Resident. Smart is the future living, with a main concept of nature and technology. Next, I will pass the presentation to Melissa.
Thank you, Afiq. Now I will continue on with the layout plan. This plan shows the ground level, and the entrance and exit are located near the orange box, which represent the guardhouse. The drop-off point is located close to the small roundabout. Next. This layout shows the podium level, and it consists of most of the facilities such as multipurpose hall, living lounge, and garden lounge, and so on. Next. This is the rooftop layout. The fine dining area that is colored dark blue will be the special features for this development. It is recommended that this area is to be rented out as it will be open to the public in order to generate more income. Plus, the developer will also be the one monitoring the tenant occupying the fine dining area. Next. Referring to this table, so far most of the components of the proposed development are in compliance with the requirements. Overall, the gross floor area of the proposed development is about 1.06 million square feet, using the upgraded plot ratio of 1:8, lower than the required gross floor area. Next. In this table, all 5 types of the service apartment units also adhere to the planning guidelines. Each unit are different from each other due to its size and number of rooms. Type A, B, and C are just ordinary units, while Type D is a dual key and Type E is a tri-key unit. Next. As for this table, the parking for service apartment adheres to the planning guidelines too, since the final allocated number managed to exceed the required number. Next. In both towers, the number of units assigned per floor according to its type would be 2 of each, and thus amounting 10 units per floor. Next. Here are the floor plan of each unit. Now I will pass this presentation to Mintai.
Okay, thank you, Mel. I will talk about the marketing strategy for Innova Residence. First of all, I will talk about market positioning. In our case, Innova Residence is positioned as a collection of luxury, fully and partially furnished service apartment with smart home feature, targeting mid-high to high income groups, which has the income more than 15K per month. Okay, next. The main target for this project will be investor who want to make money with this high roller product. Of course, apart from investment, this project can be meant for on-stay too, but it's mainly for bachelor, married couple, and small household. As the biggest layout, we will have only 2 bedrooms. Next, we come to marketing mix. Okay, under marketing mix, we'll have 4P, which is product, price, place, and promotion. Under product part, we are recommending a development of luxury service apartment. We have 5 layouts ranging from A to E. Type ABC can be used for both purpose, which is for on-stay and investment, while D and E is really meant for investment as the layout is dividing the studio into 2 or 3 units. Next, please. We have price. Price will be determined by the furnishing that our customer choosing, ranging from 1.08 million to 2.75 million. For the unit that are fully furnished, it is more 200 ringgit Malaysia per square feet compared to partially furnished one. Next. Next, we come to place. In order to promote our proposed development, it is advisable to have a sales gallery located next to the proposed development to better cater the consumer needs. Next, we will have the unit with exact layout and measurement to act as the showroom. Then we will have virtual showroom, because with the aid of AI technology, purchaser will have the opportunity to take a look at the layout and design before visiting the showroom. Next. Okay, finally, we'll come to the final P, which is promotion. Our project will give promotion ranging from Boomi discount, which is 5%, and it is specified in the planning guideline. Then we will have early bird discount, which is 7% for the buyer who buy at the first year, and extra discount 3% for the first 50% buyer under the early bird scheme who sign S&P after 30 days of booking. This is to ensure the fast signing of S&P to secure the sales. And finally, free legal fee and stamp duties. Next, I will pass to Xiu Qing.
Switching, do you open your mic?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can.
Okay, I'll share screen now. Firstly, we use investment method to calculate the value of the fine dining as it will be rented out. We use the comparable rental of the rooftop fine dining nearby to get the average market rental per square feet. Then we calculate the gross annual rental less the outgoings at 20% times with the YP put at 6% to get a capital value of 13.5 million. Then we come to the residual valuation. For the GDV, we calculate the per square feet price times with the build out area to get the average price per unit and multiply with the total units to get the gross revenue. We have allocated 80% for fully furnished and 20% for the partly furnished. The larger the units, the lower the price per square feet, as this can ensure affordability for larger units. We have also given some discounts which will be deducted from the gross revenue. And then we add the fine dining capital value to get the total GDV. As for the gross development cost, the building construction cost can get from Arcadites. And for other development costs, we have contribution to DPKL, which includes the building plan and planning approval fees. We also have contribution and compliance costs and development charge. For the development charge, we have to pay because we propose a plot ratio of 1:8 instead of the original 1:6 plot ratio. We have found the land value of the plot ratio 1:6, which is 458 million, and the plot ratio 1:8, which is 646 million. In order to pay for the development charge as stated in the DPKL, which is 50% of the difference in the market value of land, which total to be 94 million. Then we have other fees such as the site clearance and demolition fee. The during construction fees includes the QS, engineer and architect fees, and we have the financial fee, which is the bridging loan and term loan. For the bridging loan, we only borrow 30% of the total bidding cost, as we are using the sell then build concept where we can receive cash inflow during the construction. As for term loan, is 40% of the pre-construction cost, and this is the interest rate and terms for both loans. Then, as we offer free legal fees for the buyers, this is the amount we have to pay post-construction. The developer's profit is 15% from the GDV, as the current market is soft. Then, to calculate the total GDC, we have to add the total building cost, the total other development cost, and developer's profit, which amount to 813 million. Then we use the GDV minus GDC to get the residual land value in the next 4 years, and PB back 4 years with the WACC rate of 6.87% to get the capital land value of 574 million, which is 58% higher than the original land acquisition cost. Next, I'll pass to Min Yao.
Thank you, Siu Ching. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
So now I'll be explaining about the feasibility study of this proposed development. The development period for this proposed development is expected to take around 7 years. And then for the first year will be solely used for preparations. Therefore, there won't have any construction start here and we won't have any cash inflow. The construction will only start in the second year, which is labeled as year 1. During this year, we will start to generate a cash inflow. The cash inflow is based on the progressive payment as prescribed in the Schedule H of the Housing Development Act based on the stages we have completed. The estimate sales for the first year is expected to be 35% and then reducing throughout the development period. We are expected to take 4 years to fully dispose our units, taking into consideration on the intense competition around the area and also the market condition as well. As for the cash outflow, this is based on the construction stages, which is pre-construction, during construction, and post-construction stages of each of the respective costs. And then moving on to the cash flow here. So looking at the gross revenue, it is calculated using the cash inflow that I prescribed in the development timeline. We use the total revenue that was supposed to get from the from selling all of the units, multiply with the estimate sales, and then multiply with the progressive payment as prescribed. And then one thing worth to mention is the fine dining area. As mentioned by my group mate just now, our fine dining area will be rented out. In this case, in order for us to start to receive rental revenue, the fine dining area will only start to have a net annual rental when the construction has been fully done. That's why we only start to incur net rental value after the construction period. And then together, using the total gross revenue minus with the discount, we will plus the rental revenue, we will have a GDP of 1.55 billion. And then last with the GDC, we will have a profit before tax of 513 million. The IRR before being net presented is 14.35%. And after being presented with the WACC rate, which is 6.87%, we will have an IRR of 7%. So in conclusion, that for feasibility studies, the return on investment for this proposed development is over 90%, and the return on development cost is also like very high, 35%. The benefit cost ratio has exceeded 1, and the land value actually has increased around 65%. All of this shows that the proposed development is actually profitable. However, since the IRR just slightly higher than the WACC, therefore we think that this is not a perfect timing to start this development. There are certain reasons that cause the above situations. First one is the low absorption rate from the market. Currently, because of the pandemic, the demand for the luxury and high-end product has been reducing. On top of that, there are oversupply issue in Kuala Lumpur area, which causes us need to take a longer time to dispose all of the units. Another thing is the high land cost. The initial purchase price of the land is very high. In order for us to cover back the initial cost, we need to have a very high revenue. However, during this pandemic, a lot of competitors has offered a very huge discount, as explained by in the competitors analysis, which cost us very hard. It cost us having a very difficult time in pricing the product in a very competitive pricing. In this case, we recommend the client to postpone this development 2 to 3 years from now and observe the market first. We wait the market to absorb the current supply and recover from the pandemic, only start to develop this development. We also recommend the client to joint venture with other corporates to develop the site. This is because this can even out the risk and the cost that needed for this development. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5. So we'll start the Q&A session with Dr. Zai. Dr. Zai, do you have any question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Very good presentation. Yeah. I don't have question to ask. Yeah. I think. Okay. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zai. Prof. Anwar, do you have any question for this group?
Yes, I have actually. Congratulations for the presentation that whatever you propose that you, I think is makes sense. Okay, I just want to based on your residual method, you did not put in the land cost. Am I right?
Yes, we don't put in the land cost for residual method.
Any specific reason?
Because when we're doing residual method, we are actually finding the capital value of the land after the proposed development has been built on that. So that's why we don't include the initial land cost. This is used for us to compare whether we have an increment in the land cost when we're doing the development on top of the land.
Okay, good. Okay, your RI is 90.87%, whereas your ROI is 19.87, where your IRR is 7%.
Yes.
I don't know, because normally, not in all occasion, the IRR and the ROI not very much different. No, almost a double. ROI is almost a double of the IRR. Normally, not all the situation, but I don't know, in your case, it's almost how many times?
So like we have reasons for that.
Because you know the formula for IRR is the value of the final minus value of initial over value of initial, isn't it?
Yes.
And time 100. Okay, but normally in most of the cases it's not this one how many times of IR. Okay, that is a little bit weird to me. And then after taking this your 574 millions of your end figure of your residual matter minus the land cost is 300 something, then the end figure should be.
Pardon, I don't get your question, Prof.
Okay, your end figure, your residual valuation is 574 million.
Yes.
Your land cost should be 300 something million, isn't it?
Our land cost is 3. Let me include it in here. Wait, I think I have included.
Yeah, some between 340 million. Kalau you tolakkan tinggal berapa?
Sorry, I apologize.
No, you just go to the cash flow calculation, yeah.
Okay, 2 to 5. Meaning that kalau you meaning that your end figure, if you include the land value, that is lower than the purchase price. Okay.
You mean the residual or cash flow? Because cash flow we got include the land price.
Yeah,
the residual we don't have.
I'm talking about residual.
I see.
Okay.
Prof Anwar, residual yang 225 million ni increase in land value, they say.
Yes.
I understand. Okay, kita discuss later. Prof Zaria. Dr. Zaria. Okay.
Yeah, no, because it's not the profit here. This is the increase in land value if the proposed development is approved. Kan?
Okay. That's all my question.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, the group. But you present it well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof Anwar. Surveyor Ghani, do you have any question for this group?
Okay, well, great presentation. Thank you, Group 5. Just a comment, a general comment, because I noticed most of you, not only this group, but the previous one as well, Group 3 and Group 1, when you indicate the size, right, of the unit, you normally say square feet, right? But when you indicate the price for the unit per square foot, right? Normally you say price per square foot, but most of you have, pronounce it as per square feet. So that just need to correct about that.
English.
Okay.
Betul.
Thank you very much.
Boleh I bagi last comment tak? I baru perasan.
Boleh.
I agree with Prof Anwar regarding the ROI and another one. I takut you silap calculate je sebab nampak macam janggal, ya. The difference between IRR and ROI is huge, ya.
Yeah.
You boleh tengok balik, ya. Sebab kita tak tengok calculation you one by one. Ada salah mana-mana ke? Just that, ya.
Okay, noted.
Okay, thank you. So thank you to Group 5. Thank you to all the panels as well. Well done, Group 5. So can we take like a short break? Thank you. Can we take like a short break, about 4 minutes, and we'll continue 10:55 a.m. because we are going through the second set of the presentation, which is task 2. It's a bit different. Or is it the same? Same, but maybe different sikit. So can we come back at 10:55?
Kita keluar dulu ke?
Tak payah keluar.
Break gitu je.
Kita break gitu aja.
Break pergi buat kopi, Prof.
Break buat kopi, pergi toilet.
Okay.
So kita start fresh for the second presentation. So kita masuk balik pukul 10.55. Okay, 10.55.
10.55. Lagi berapa minit je? 2 minit, 3 minit.
Sempat buat kopi.
5 minit. Okay.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody jangan left, okay? Still be here. So group 1, you can get ready, I think, with your first task. Your task 2. Okay? Okay, see you guys back at 10:55.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I exceeded the time 1 minute. Anyways, welcome back. So the panels, are you here, Prof. Anwar?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Prof. Anwar, are you ready also? Oh, Prof. Anwar is not here yet. Sekejap ya, kita tunggu Prof. Anwar. Prof. Anwar, are you here? Okay, I think not yet. But you have 25 minutes for this presentation for the second part, which is task 2. And you have to present a 2-minute video. And there will be a 10 minutes Q&A session as well. Okay.
Just to highlight, this task 2, the predetermined project, right?
Right.
It's already determined, okay.
Yes. So
which is service and service residence.
Service
okay.
residence and commercial.
All right.
So for this task, basically the client has requested the proposed development components, but we'll see whether the groups agreed or has omitted or has included other development components as well to propose to the client. Okay, so Prof. Anwar, are you here?
I am.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. Just yang ni dia tak boleh bega-begakan dia punya development proposal ya?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Boleh, because the client proposed the development components, but they can still argue whether the components are suitable or not.
Feasible
So
atau tidak ya?
Yes, feasible or not. So the proposed component was service apartments. I think it was they have the specific units as well. 3 bedrooms, berapa unit, and then also commercial lots. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we can start right now. So group 1, are you guys ready? Group 1?
Dah hilang pula.
Hilang pula. AK? Oh, ada. Okay. All right. So you can start right now. Good luck.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all the lecturers and my fellow friends. Today we are from Lighthouse Property Consultant. We'll present our proposal development for task 2, which is the wayside. This is the sneak peek of the wayside. Next, this is our particular of title. Alright, this is the location plan for our subject property. Our subject property is located at Batu 17, Jalan Reko, Kajang, Selangor. It is located in Kajang 2 adjacent to Jalan Reko. Next. This is our site plan. Our subject property is 3.77 acres and rectangular in shape. It is flat and lies same level with the frontage road, making the development more easier to carry out. Next. For the neighborhood plan, there are public educational institutions, some residential development and facilities nearby the subject property, making the subject property more strategic and convenient. Next. For the zoning plan, our purpose site is zoned under commercial. Next. For the comparison methods of valuation, this is our comparable plan. This is all the comparables. Comparable tree is chosen as the best comparable among all the comparable. This is because comparable tree has a least adjustment and all the adjustment made on each factors of the comparable tree do not exceed 5%. The total capital value of the subject property is 13,920,000 ringgit Malaysia. Next. For the planning consideration and requirement, our proposed site is zoned under commercial with a plot ratio of 1:4, TOD plot ratio of maximum 1:8, the plain area of maximum 60%. Next. For the floor area, the minimums of the floor area for the service apartment is 550 square feet with the maximum of 100,000 square feet. Household size 4 person per unit. Minimum service rate is 15.2 meters. For car park, 2 car park per unit plus 20% of the total service apartment unit for visitors. Motorcycle car park, 20% of the car park, and OKU park, 2% of the car park. Next. For the potentials of the proposed site, this is our proposed site. At the northeast, we have upcoming Kajang 2 Precinct 1. At the east, we have upcoming Kajang 2 Precinct 2. At the southeast, we have upcoming Kajang 2 Precinct 3. At the south, we have integrated business development area proposed by MPKJ. At the southwest, we have existing residential area. At the west, we have Bangi Golf Resort. At the north, 50 meters from subject site, we have upcoming Kajang 2 KTM station. Next. There are many upcoming or existing development near the proposed site. There is a potential that the proposed site will attract more buyers and have capital appreciation. Next. For the market study, our market study are divided into 2, which is demographic pattern and property market overview. For demographic pattern study, Referring to the left graph, the total population of Kajang from 2015 to 2035 gradually increased over the years. When reaching 2035, it is expected to have 49,000 population in Kajang. It shows the need of more housing for the growing population. At the right table, the number of households had increased gradually from 2016 to 2019, and it is expected recorded higher number of households in 2021. Next. For the household expenditure at the left side figure, Hulu Langat recorded the household consumption expenditure of 5,223 ringgit, which is the fourth highest among the administrative district. At the right side, it shows the proportions of the household in the graph from the M40 income group is the largest composition for the household. This shows that the majority of the population in Hulu Langat afford to own housing unit, especially M40 income group household. Next. For the compositions of monthly household expenditure, the spending patterns of the households reveals that there is a potential for retail space demand, especially when the retail slot occupied by tenant operating restaurant or food stores selling food and beverage. So for the property market overview, I will pass this presentation to Ashwin Kumar.
Now let's look into the property market review, starting with the supply and occupancy of retail property in Kajang on the left. The total existing retail spaces increased steadily, whereas the occupancy rate fluctuated in the past 4 years and finally dropped significantly from 89.6% in Q1 to 80.6% in Q1 of 2021. Retail spaces in Kajang managed to record an occupancy rate higher than the state average. Moving on, we will look at the existing shopping complex by type in Kajang on the right. There is nearly same number of shopping center and hypermarkets in Kajang, whereby there's 7 shopping centers and 5 hypermarkets. And in terms of size, they make up around 125,000 square meter for shopping center and 79,000 square meter for hypermarket. Now let's investigate the service apartment construction activity in Hulu Langat, where the site is located. It's notable that the first transaction of service apartments only started in 2018, since the number has been rising. As we can see in the graph here, the new planned supply has doubled from 2019 to 2020. Next, we will look at the volume and value of service apartment transaction. The volume and value of service apartment transaction also portrayed a similar trend with the incoming of planned and existing supply. And enough with the market review. Let's dive into the proposed development concept now. While transitioning to the concept video, let me introduce the development ahead. The proposed development is named the Wayside. The term Wayside brings the meaning of sitting adjacent to a road, highway, or path, thus characterizing the image of the proposed development and highlight the excellent connectivity of the proposed development. This development creates a self-sustaining community living by incorporating the comprehensive development components, including residential, retail, and WAS facilities connected to create outstanding accessibility. The Wayside is expected to be one of the most iconic sites along Jalan Reko. The Wayside is a development that offers the residents the excitement of living in the tallest tower, sitting on a highly connected site. True to its name, the Wayside sits next to KTM Railway and Jalan Reko. Enjoy the video. All right, So the video is over. So here we present the logo of the development, the wayside, and in trailing 360-degree living experience. Living, leisure, and convenience all in one place. All right, now let's look at the components of the development component. So the wayside consists of service residence, namely Summerside, Woodside, and Springside. Of the 42 levels of the whole proposed development, each of the service apartment takes up 36 levels. The residential levels of each of the tower commence on level 5 onwards up to level 41. Next are the facilities, which includes the Utopia Land, the facilities deck, the Cloud9, our Sky Garden, the retail podium, the Wayside Walk, which I will explain further later. Now let's look at the master plan of the development. The base of the development has been designed in this manner to increase the visibility of retail lots upon entering to the development lobby, which makes the retail podium a favorable place for business owners. Next. This is going to be the retail podium, the Wayside Walk. The proposed retail podium comprises of slightly over 22,000 square feet of net lettable spaces with a total of 18 retail lots. Among the retail lots, there's one allocated with a larger floor area of 3,000 square feet aiming to be rented to an anchor tenant, whereas the rest is allocated for each of the remaining 17 retail lots respectively. These are a few pictures of depicting the final development in occupied retail space. All right, next, we're going to look at the Utopia Land, the facilities deck. Here's the list of all the facilities available. Definitely there's a lot. Utopia Land that sits on the podium on level 4 creates an ultimate lifestyle for the youthful and energetic. These facilities are shared between residents of each towers, so it doesn't matter which tower are you living in. It offers the residents of enjoyment of various facilities right at home. Residents will be able to work out at their own leisure time, to lose extra pounds, gain, relax at the same time at their own pace and preferred time without worrying about the human congestion. We are some of the few developments to ever have a full-size tennis court, basketball court incorporated into the development itself. And as a must, we always must have a swimming pool with a stunning view. So here are a few pictures depicting the facilities: the tennis court, the basketball court, and the swimming pool. And next, taking the top side of the wayside, the crown of the development. 3 sky gardens are designated at the top of floors of each of the towers. Being the tallest tower in the locality, the rooftops of Summerside, Woodside, and Springside offer a breathtaking views of the glittering skyline of Kajang. Sky Garden and outdoor entertainment area are prepared on top of on the top floors for the residents to fill them with enthusiasm for life. Here are a few pictures depicting the active usage of the Sky Garden. Here's the gazebo for you to host your guests or just to have a coffee in the evening. Right. Now let's look at the distribution of development components. There is only one component that we need to adhere to according to the planning guideline, which is the open space with the minimum of being 10%. Open spaces are the green areas such as perimeter planting and park and pedestrian walkway. As a matter of fact, the development has 18.27% of open space adhering to the planning guideline. Next, we will be looking at the development units that are being sold in the development. And there are 3 types of units, mainly being type A, type B, and type C. Type A has a built-up area of 929 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a selling price of 597,000. Type B has a built-up area of 759 square foot with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with a selling price of 350,000. And finally, Type C has a built-up area of 550 square foot with 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom with a selling price of 299,000. That's it from me. I would like to pass the presentation to Mr. Chisang.
Okay, thank you, Ashwin. Next, I'm going to explain about our competitor analysis. This is divided into 2 parts. Next, for part 1, I will explain the comparison with the service apartment within the locality. And this is the competitor plan of the competitors. And the 4 identified competitors are Fairview Kajang, Canopy Hills, BIE Residences, and Nexus Kajang for Tower B and Tower C. Next. All of the competitors are all within 6 km radius from our proposed development. Further, as you can see from the table, Fairview Kajang is the only existing competitor, whereas the other 3 are under construction and expected to be completed in the future. And MKH Berhad is the developer that have gained a strong foothold in Kajang for over 3 decades. It's the main rival to our client, as majority of the service apartment projects are development by them. Next, both the competitors also have the good connectivity to the public transport, which are close to KTM and MRT Kajang Station. For our proposed development, the Wayside is the highest residential tower in the address with 42 floor levels, whereas Canopy Hill is the one that offers the egg facility, which is the most compared to the others. And on the other hand, Mirai Residences is the only team development that is Japanese-inspired lifestyle. Overall, the launching price of the competitors in the locality are below 400,000 ringgit. Next, I'm going to explain about the comparison with the commercial properties. Next, this is the competitor plan of the competitors, and they are Fairview Kajang, Mirai Residences, and Nexus Kajang, and also the Reko Central. Next, Fairview Kajang and Reko Center are the only existing competitor, whereas the other are still under construction. Except for the Mirai Residence, which is located at Jalan Kajang Villa, the others are located at Jalan Reko, which is same as our proposed development. And all of them are situated within 3 km radius from our proposed development. Also, they have the good accessibility to the public transport, which also close to the MRT and the KTM station. Further, each of the competitors are roughly similar in their size in terms of their respective net lettable area. However, Reko Central is the one houses the highest number of retail lots, which 129 lots. Overall, the rental rate based on this competitor are also below the 5 ringgit per square foot. Next, I'm going to explain about our SWOT analysis. First and foremost, the strength of our proposed development is due to TOD location and affordable housing with comprehensive facility, and also having a good tenant mix by having an anchor tenant in the retail product, as explained by my colleague just now, Ashwin Kumar. And further, however, there are also some weaknesses of our proposed development, which is smaller unit of the service apartment, which is a type C, and this is a higher rate for the utility bills for service apartment unit. This is because the service apartment is sit on the commercial land. However, there are also some opportunities for our proposed development, which is blessed with the excellent connectivity with a new proposed Kajang 2 KTM station, and future development in neighborhood based on our local plan of Kajang. And further, we believe that the property market will rebound with the government lifted the movement restriction and full vaccination in the full force. Nevertheless, the intense competition in the industry and market uncertainty due to COVID-19 may become the threat of our proposed development and it affect our sales. Next, I will pass to Ain'ni to continue the presentation.
So we are looking into valuation and feasibility study now. So next. So now I'll be explaining residual method of valuation. The present land value is say 80,863,000 ringgit by deducting the gross development cost from the gross development value and discounted for 2 years at 8%. Next. Before entering cash flow analysis, let's look into disposal strategy in order to get a clear picture on the timeline. So based on the table above, the development will start in year 0 with the completing of all the preliminary works. Then the construction works for the whole development will start in year 1 and finish in year 2. In year 1, it is expected that 188 of the service apartment units will be sold to the prospective buyer, 565 units sold in year 3. Besides, facilities such as restaurant and cafe and the retail spaces in the retail podium will be started to rent out in year 3. Next. So next is cash flow. Cash inflow of 397,622,000 ringgit is generated from the sales of the service apartment units, rent of the facilities, retail spaces, and parking lot. Next. So while the cash outflow is separate into 3 stages, which is the pre, during, and post-construction stages, totaling up around 236,900,000 ringgit. Moving on. Going on, we will look into the feasibility study. So the feasibility study indicates that the proposed development recorded a positive net present value of 19,8,472 ringgit, and the project break even and start receive profit during 3.6 years, which is after the completion of the construction period, and the WACC WACC is 7.55%, which is acceptable, and the internal rate of return IRR is 27.74%, which is higher than the required rate of return of the development, the WACC. Thus, the project is expected to be profitable and acceptable. On the other hand, the BCR compares the net present value of benefits and the net present value of cost, and it is higher than 1, indicating the project is viable. Next slide, please. So looking into marketing strategy, which is separate into marketing, market target and positioning, as well as marketing mix. Next. Before designing the marketing mix strategy, we segmented the market according to several phases in order to decide the target group and develop their profile. So the target group will be the local buyer from the area of Hulu Langat, but not limited to other areas. They are mainly the more small households, younger age, middle income earner age between 25 to 44, who interest in buying middle cost high-rise dwelling units for own staying. Next. So in order to establish the image or identity of the proposed development, we place our market position in Kajang as we are the highest residential tower, 42 levels at its address, and we have excellent location, which has mentioned by my teammate just now, and we also sell a lower price compared to the competitors. Next slide. So coming to marketing mix, which is 4P right now. For product, we had offer to the target group service residents, a home incorporating living, leisure, convenience in one place, and facility tax, especially for the resident to provide lively ambience and also retail podium. Focusing into retail podium next, which serve as a neighborhood mall, we had developed a tenant mix strategy as shown in the pie chart, provide shops and services mainly to meet the daily needs and wants within the community. Besides, the retail mall is expected not only to meet the demand of the residents, but also expected to attract outsiders as there is less retail mall in the area. Next slide, please. So in terms of pricing, we also conduct pricing analysis into the actual price transacted of the service apartment unit around the proposed site. And we found that the average price is 559 ringgit per square feet, and the maximum price is 790 ringgit per square feet, whereas the minimum price is 474 per square feet, as shown in the table next. The proposed price of the service apartment is slightly higher than the minimum price, but lower than the average price around the area. Next. Same as the price of the service apartment, the monthly rental rate of the retail podium also being analyzed. So the average monthly rental is 5 ringgit 14 cents, and the rental rate is between 3 ringgit 63 cents and 7 ringgit 34 cents. The proposed monthly rental next is taken from the range, and it is proposed to be lower than the average monthly rental for both facilities deck and retail spaces. I would like to explain the reason why there is only 2 retail properties being selected. The reason behind that is there is not many shopping mall in the area of Kajang, which is also mentioned by AK just now, and there are only 2 actual data we able to get from NAPEC. Yeah, that's it. Next. To conclude, we adopt low active pricing strategy in which we offer lower pricing in the area because everybody is sensitive to pricing, and buying a property is a huge decision to be made in their lifetime. Moreover, this strategy is able to penetrate the market in order for the developer to establish a strong product position and overcome intense competition in the market. So for phase strategy is a distribution channel to inform the prospective buyer the availability of the product in the market. The proposed development is distributed through on-site, gallery, and official website. While the promotion mix consists of advertising, direct marketing, public relations, and sales promotion to promote the products to the target market. In conclusion, to cut short, the proposed site had a great future potential development to be developed as explained by my teammate just now, and the attractive concept and pricing developed is expected to attract prospective buyer in the market. Besides, the proposed development has increased the value of the land as significant, and the feasibility study such as the measurement of IRR and break-even had indicated that the feasibility and the viability of the proposed project. Thus, in our opinion, the proposed project is feasible and viable to be developed. So that's what up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Group 1. So I'll open the Q&A session and we'll start with Dr. Zai. Do you have any question?
Good presentation. Yeah, I like the video very much, the multimedia. Okay, can you scroll to the residual method? Okay, as per the question, yeah, did you incorporate DCF technique in your residual? Because the question asks you to value the subject property using residual method incorporating DCF.
Yeah, we have done a cash flow analysis, and the cash flow analysis is done for 7 years, and then we discounted back to present value to get the IRR and all that. But no, that one is in Excel.
No, for the residual method, you did that or not?
We combine this residual method and cash flow analysis as our DCF.
No, it's actually DCF is a technique. Yeah. If I read the question here, the question from you have to do residual method, yeah, incorporating a DCF technique in it. But from what I see here is only static residual method.
This is our cash flow and discounted to present value. The PV 7.55, and then we'll get
this one is on the financial analysis, right? Okay, I understand. Yeah, okay, and then for financial analysis, you also didn't include the land cost, right?
Yeah, for our group, we admit it, we don't include in cash flow.
Okay, because yeah, I remember last time when we have a session with Surveyor Sulaiman, yeah, they said why you have to do the valuation, because we want to know the land cost, yeah, so that we can incorporate in the financial analysis, in the feasibility study, yeah, that's what I remember lah, yeah. Okay, that's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Zai. Surveyor Gani, do you have any question?
Well, I think it's all good. It's all good from me. Nice presentation. I think it's a good project actually. Yeah, I think it's a good proposal. because I think Kajang and its vicinity, right, really needs more, I would say, build up areas. Yeah, the price point also, I think, reasonable for the market at the moment and the near future. Yeah, I think it's all good for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Surveyor Gani. Prof. Anwar, do you have any question for Group 1?
Okay. This one, your retail unit. Okay. Okay. Are you looking for the single tenant or multiple tenants? That's only my question.
Okay, for this proposal for the retail podium, we have 18 retail lots, and one will be anchor tenant with a larger flat lettable area, and the other will be made up by the other tenants. Will be a mix.
Will be mixed. You are looking for the multiple tenants. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prof. Anwar. Thank you to the panel, Dr. Zai, Surveyor Gani, and Prof. Anwar. Well done, Group 5. Sorry, Group 5. Group 1. I have no question. So well done. You're done actually with IP. So hopefully we'll seal the deal and get A. Okay. So well done, Group 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
the
panel.
Thank you.
Okay. So Group 3, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So you can start. Good luck.
Wait.
Ya, Mira, apa? Kenapa?
That kamera.
Oh.
Tapi I dah hilang the shared presentation.
Oh, okay. Sekejap ya. Alright, ada nampak tak?
Nampak? Okay, you can start.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning to Prof. Anwar, Dr. Zafira, Dr. Zahiria, Surveyor Gani, and to all my fellow friends. We are from Group 3. For this time, we will make a presentation on the task 2 for Parkland Residence Kajang 2. In this presentation, we will talk about the brief information for the subject site, development proposal, and financial appraisal for Saitama Properties in Jalan Berhad. Our site and location. Our subject site is located in Kajang 2. So as you can see, Kajang is on the north and Bangi is on the south of the subject site, while on the west is Bandar Baru Bangi in Putrajaya area, and Sebenyi is on the east. With the lot number 1125 Ningking Kajang, Hulu Langat, Selangor, the tenure of the subject site is term in perpetuity, the land use is under building, express condition and restriction in interest is nil. The registered owner of this land is Saitama Properties in Jalan Berhad. The subject site is located in mature neighborhood that consists residential and commercial area. The main essential service that is the nearest is fire station, healthcare institution, and police station. There are also commercial complex, public transport, which is the KTM Kajang 2, plus the primary to tertiary institution that exists around it. The subject site is actually easy to be developed because it is a rectangular line shape, the first layer, and flat in terrain. However, it is not a vacant land because there are semi-permanent buildings are identified on it. This is the site plan of our subject site with the size lot 3.77 acres. Next, on the left-hand side is the area view, and on the right-hand side is the front view of the subject site. Next, I will pass the presentation to Sotling. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. Now I will continue with the brief information social demographic study, an in-depth household income study which to identify the household income distribution in year 2019 for the district Sepang, Hulu Langat, and Putrajaya. Based on the figure, we can see that the median household monthly income in Sepang, Hulu Langat, and Putrajaya is 8,937 ringgit Malaysia, 8,361 ringgit Malaysia, and 9,983 ringgit Malaysia respectively. While the mean household income in Sepang, Hulu Langat, and Putrajaya is 12,254 ringgit Malaysia, 10,252 ringgit Malaysia, and 12,840 ringgit Malaysia respectively. Overall, Putrajaya household has highest mean income of 12,840 ringgit Malaysia among household in Sepang and Hulu Langat. Now I will pass to Izzat for continue the presentation.
Firstly, I would like to apologize for not opening camera due to unstable network. So now let's move on to the property market condition in Hulu Langat. Next. In 2020, the residential market in Hulu Langat showed a drop in total number of volume and value of property transacted, while the number of residential property overhang decreased in 2020. This poor performance is due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic which been faced by Malaysia started in 2020. As for commercial property market in 2020, the volume transaction decreased and the value transaction in 2020 recorded the lowest in 3 years' time. However, the service apartment subsector showed an improvement since it recorded a decrement of total number overhang in 2020. So overall, in 2020, the market is not in their best condition caused by the impact of COVID-19, which led to many restrictions. However, it still show a possibility to improve in the near future, since even though some property market sectors show a negative growth, there are still some subsectors such as service apartment which show some improvement. So now I will pass back to Lesuling.
Thank you, Izzat. Now I will continue with competitor study. The competitor within 5 km radius from our proposed site have been identified. Our proposed development classified as high-rise residential property, so only high-rise residential property will be focused as competitor. However, through this table, we can see that there are least competitors surrounding our proposed site. Okay, next. So we will select some of the competitor for doing analysis. The existing competitor have been analysts are Tiara Imperial Residence, Symphony 1 Condominium, Tiara Park Homes, Pure Avenue Condominium, Bangi Gateway Service Apartment, and Seville Kajang. Well, for the upcoming competitors, there have been analysts are Mirai Residences, Vista Bangi Service Apartment, MKH Boulevard 2 Kajang, Kenobi Hills, and Nexus Kajang Station Tower B and C. Next, pricing analysis. Based on our analysis, the competitors with service apartment type of development offer a price range between 387 ringgit Malaysia to 696 ringgit Malaysia per square feet. The nearest competitor, which is Canopy Hill, offering a price range between 434 ringgit Malaysia to 487 ringgit Malaysia per square feet. Therefore, the average price offered by service apartment type of development competitors is 480 ringgit Malaysia per square feet. While for the competitor with condominium type of development, they offer a price range between 286 ringgit to 349 ringgit Malaysia per square feet. Then the average price offered by condominium type of development is 310 ringgit Malaysia. Then move to demand analysis. The sales performance of the upcoming competitors shows some great performance. The average sales per project per annum is 296 and 294 units per annum. Therefore, it can be assumed that in 1 year, around 294 units can be sold. All the competitors that have been analyzed obtain the takeout rate from 90% to 95% within less than 3 years. Next. Based on the product analysis, we can see that the surrounding competitor mostly provide a unit with 2 and 3 bedroom layout, while only few competitors provide a unit with more than 3 bedroom, and only Pure Avenue Condominium has a penthouse layout unit. Next. After that, discount and rebates packages, most of the competitor around the proposed site provided a bare unit only, and some of the competitor provided a discount package for their development. The highest discount provided by competitors is 30%, which provided by MKH Boulevard 2 Kajang. That's all from me. Now I will pass to Amira for continue.
All right, thank you, Swat Ling. Next slide, I will talk about our mode of development. Sell then bid concept will be used in this proposed development project. This concept allows a developer to collect the money first from the financial institution after SPA. The cash inflow will be used during the construction stage to finance the following stages throughout the development. In other words, I can say that the developer can do the development stage by stage. So this system, it will give a benefit to developers so they can obtain less amount of term loans and bridging loans. For development component, the name of the proposed development is Parkland Residence Kajang 2, which is already have been given by the client, Saitama Properties Sdn Bhd. The slogan connectivity to lifestyle living. The development proposal will consist strata residential, that is service apartment, together with field commercial shop lot. Instead of retail podium, we suggest that the retail lots are to be built at the ground floor of the building so it can be accessible by the public easily. Okay, next is the planning provision. So as you can see, since our subject site is less than 4 hectares, which is shown here under Klang Valley area, we just need to prepare 30% out of total development unit for medium cost housing, and we do not have to consider the Malay Reserve and non-Malay Reserve itself. For the planning provision, this zoning plan under BPK 1.21 Kajang 2 area, our site is enclosed by the red boundary here as a commercial zoning with the plot ratio 1:4. Further information given by BPK talking about classes land use. Actually, as you can see, the retail business and the service apartment is fall under the main land use for commercial zoning. As for the density and plot ratio, since our development located within 400 meters from public transportation, which is the KTM Kajang 2, so actually our plot ratio can go for 1:8, just like I mentioned before. Our proposed site is under transit-oriented development category. So our proposed plot ratio will be the maximum one, which is 1:8. So there need to be 60% for the Bumi Putra quota for low-cost commercial units and 50% for other commercial units, which need to be given 10% discount per unit. For Rumah Selangorku, guideline, the service apartment development is in zone 1, which is located in Klang Valley area. But actually, we are not required to build any Rumah Selangorku for Kajang because type E Rumah Selangorku only applicable to areas under the Petaling Jaya, Ampang Jaya and Subang Jaya Municipal Council only. So summary of planning provision, zoning is commercial with plot ratio 1:8 since our subject site is located within OTD. We will get extra incentive of 4 plot ratio for free, 60% for plain area, 10% for open space, and 50% of maximum unit with 10% discount for Bumi Putra quota. For car park, minimum 1 per unit plus 20% visitor parking, which is based on total amount of unit. And the unit size minimum 500 square foot and the maximum 1,000 square foot. Okay, we move in development composition. Zoning is commercial with total land area 3.77 acres or 164,200 square foot. The land area will be times with 10% and get total 16,422 square foot for open space. Plain area.
Square feet, yeah. Square
feet. Okay, feet. Sorry. Plain area is around 89,000 square feet. Will be used plot ratio 1:8, and the total allowable floor area will be 1.3 million square feet. Based on our client interest, we will provide 3 types of layout. Firstly is type A, 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms with built up 929 square feet. Type B, 2 rooms, 2 bathrooms, that is 751 square feet. And type C, 1 room, 1 bathroom with built up 550 square feet, which all of this layout will be provided in Tower A and Tower B for the service apartment. While for the commercial, the Parkland Square will have 10 unit shop lot, which conclude that all the total commercial component is 1,416 units overall. On the ground floor, there will be a retail, refuse chamber, and M&E services. It also includes 2 lobbies for Tower A and Tower B in purple color, plus the car park for the residents, while on the podium floor, 2 towers of service apartment are planned, which is Tower A and Tower B, and to be built by phase with 912 units for Tower A, while 494 units for Tower B. Both towers are proposed to be built has a total 38 floors. This development also will include the Parkland Square, which is the commercial property in this proposed development that is provided to the resident to fulfill their daily life needs. There are also some facilities provided such as kid playground, swimming pool, half basketball court, and gym. Next, I will pass the presentation to Lik Kuan. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. So now I'll be presenting about the recommend pricing about our development. So next. So as you can see, like my group member Soklin has presented just now regarding the competitors surrounding us. Actually, the price range start from 300 up to 600 something. But if you're using the nearest competitor, which is the Canopy Hill, actually their price range offer 440 to 500 something like that. In our cases, in this business financial appraiser, we will advise the client and we will use a 440 ringgit Malaysia per square foot for our financial appraiser. As for the rent of retail, we will recommend the rental between 2 ringgit and 40 cents per square foot up to 2 ringgit per square foot, based on our study from the information provided by NEPIC for the ground floor retail lots. Next. And now I will talk about the development timeline. Next, please. Since DO, as informed by the client, since the DO has been obtained from the authority, the construction will need to be started within next 6 months from now. And in this case, we will expect our construction year, including the preliminary work, will be finished in 3 year times. And the last 2 year, 4th year, and 5 year will be solely for the delivery of a composition. And as DO has been obtained, we also can say that the project is guaranteed, not guaranteed, is permitted to do the launching together once the FPTR has been given. So by the 1st year time, we will also have some cash inflow from the signing of SPA by the purchaser. Thanks. Next, please. So now I'll be talking about the marketing strategy to enhance our development disposal, either short-term and long-term period. So first and foremost, we will talk about the target customer, which with our selling price, we can target the all-income strata households, because based on the demographic study regarding the household distribution for the Hulu Langa area, Sepang area, as well as the Putrajaya area, 90% of the households has minimum income to purchase our property, which I will explain later. And of course, we can target household from Bangi, Putrajaya, Semenggeng, and Kajang, since we are located in between this main area. And lastly is for the investor from the local buyer, because we are near to the township development by the MKH Kajang, by the MKH Sendirian Berhad, the township Kajang 2, as well as we are near to the UKM institution, which can provide the service for the student. And also, since we are near to the TOD development, of course, this is one of the strengths for us to be used as an investment potential. And next, please. And now we'll move into the marketing strategy. About the marketing mix, we should talk about the product, price, place, and promotions. First and foremost, the product, which is the keyword for our development, which I would say is a transit-oriented development. Control tenant portfolio mix, which like Amira has said, we will advise the client to move the retail lots from the retail podium to the ground floor area, and will be solely self-managed by the management itself and together with the developer, so that the proper tenant portfolio can be achieved in order to increase the sustainability of the commercial. And quality with affordable price and high security, since we will provide different tier of security. As for the price, and as you can see from the price rank, we can see our price starting as low from 242,000 ringgit Malaysia, which is for the smaller units, 550 square foot one, up to 971 square foot for 408,000 ringgit Malaysia, roughly. And with that in mind, now our monthly commitment using the current term, which is 35-year and then 3.2%, the monthly commitment can only start from 860 ringgit Malaysia. And together with the development, together with the maintenance fees and sinking fund fee around that place for the service apartment, actually our monthly commitment together with charge is around 1,000 ringgit per 1,000 ringgit per month only. So why I would say that we can target all income strata is because that with that 1,000 ringgit money commitment together with charge, actually if we're using the rule of thumb 30% of the monthly household income, 1,000, the 30%, actually the minimum required is the 3,000 ringgit Malaysia. And if you guys still remember the income distribution presented by the SWOT link, actually 90% and above of the area of the household within the area of Sepang, Hulu Langa and Putrajaya actually have 3,000 income and above. So this is why we can say we can target all household income. And next, so the place, like I said just now, we are located in between Pangai, Semanggi, and Putrajaya, and we will set up our sales gallery opposite of our development site, and so that the client can have a better understanding about our development, and they can understanding the macro and micro economy aspect for the Kajang 2 area. And we will say we are located within the mature township, which is also we can see from the surrounding. And lastly, promotion, which will comprise of three aspects. First one is the advertising, which comprises digital and traditional. And traditional, which we are here is referring to the billboard and maybe some banner only, but not the flyer and the brochure, etc. Okay, so probation, this is to do an official event and then to get the newspaper or the media to come and record the moment for the take up red milestone, etc., and official launch event, so that we can grab more attention from the public and raise the awareness regarding the existence of this project in the future. And the lastly is the price promotion. We will provide early bird discounts and together with free legal fees so that they can reduce their upfront costs to access into the home ownership, especially the first home buyer. Next. Now we talk about the valuation report. So next, we have choose three comparable, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3, which is also a development land for commercial property, for commercial zoning and building lands use. And then all the comparable is located near to us within 2 to 3 kilometers. And next, and the final, and through the adjustment and the several adjustment factor, and then we can actually arrive that our market value through the comparison method is 12.6 million ringgit Malaysia. This value is lower than the purchase acquisition price, which is roughly 2.21 million. And we will say that the 21 million acquisition price consists of the speculation factor inside it. So that actually we will say the intrinsic value, which is the market value right now for that land itself, is 12.6 million. And next, I will pass to Pawachi for financial appraisal as the last part of the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Lee Kuan. So I'll be explaining about the financial appraisal. So first, in order to achieve the financial appraisal, we need to conduct the investment valuation for retail lot units. Since we are not going to sell the commercial lot, we'll use the term in perpetuity deferred at 7% to get the capital value for our retail spaces in the future. So the capital value for retail space is 6.6 million ringgit Malaysia. Then this amount will be applicable inside the calculation of development charge, cash flow, as well as the residual method. Next one. So next, I'll be explaining about the cash flow of our development. So next. Okay, as you can see in part 1, the revenue will collect over 5 years with a total revenue of 457.4 million ringgit Malaysia. Then part 2 is the minus discount, such as the early bird discount and Bumi Putra discount. Then the total discount is at 27.4 million ringgit Malaysia. For part 3, the market value for retail space is at a total of 6.6 million ringgit. In a conclusion, the total GTV is at 436.6 million ringgit Malaysia. So next one. for the GDC of our proposed development. Part 1 shows the building cost and infrastructure cost, which will be paid within the first 3 years of development with a total of 254.5 million ringgit Malaysia. Part 2 shows other development costs in 3 phases, include of the pre-construction, during construction, and post-construction period. Pre-construction costs only paid in year 1 of the development, and for the during and post-construction will be paid before year 4. So for summary of our cash flow, there is a deficit of profit before tax, but it will be covered by a capital source from equity, term loan debit, as well as the bridging loan. You can also see in a row of accumulated net present value, there is a positive value of NPV in year 3. IRR of this development is at 20%, and the WACC calculated is at 7.67%. So next one. This is the break-even graph of the MTV. The break-even point is between the year 2 and year 3 for our proposed development. Next one. I'll be explaining about the residual method. So for residual method, GDV is get from the revenue of selling all units, then minus with the 10% discount of the early bird discount with 10% of total units, and 10% discount for Umi Putra with the 50% of total units. So the total GDV is at 436.6 million ringgit Malaysia. Next one. Then we minus by the GDC of roughly 340 million ringgit, comprises with building costs of all units, commercial and common spaces, infrastructure costs, and other development costs in 3 phases of pre-construction, during construction, as well as the post-construction period. And the development profit is at 10% of the GDV. Afterward, we pay with the residual value with 7.67% at 3 years, and we get the current market value of land at 77 million ringgit. The value increased around 64 million ringgit ratio with the rate of around 500%. So next one. In conclusion, the total NPV for this development is 42 ringgit Malaysia, and 42 million ringgit Malaysia. The WACC is at 7.67%, and the IRR is around 20%. Since the IRR is greater than WACC, which indicates that this project is low risk and feasible. So I'll end up the presentation with our videos.
Thank you, Weiqi. Now I'll be Amira. Yeah, thank you. So I'll be the one who share you the video. And give me a minute. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen? Boleh tak? Boleh kan?
Boleh.
Okay. Sekiranya tak ada suara bagi I tahu.
It's a blank screen.
Not seeing anything yet though.
Yeah, it was anything. Now only start. Okay, I will start now.
Okay. Okay. Lee Guan, you on mute.
Okay, okay. So that is it, and now I will be sharing back our presentation slide. Okay. Okay. I believe I share already, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's all from us with the video as our ending from today's presentation.
All right, thank you, Group 3. Well done. So I'm going to open the Q&A session with Prof. Anwar. Prof. Anwar, do you have any question?
Thank you, Dr. Zafira. Okay, congratulations for this group 3 for your good presentation as well as your video, very catchy video. I pun macam rasa nak beli that your development. Okay, with regards to your development period is 3 years. Am I right?
Yes.
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 And then your break even is 2.5 years in the year around between 2 and 3.
Yeah, I will say third quarter lah.
Yeah.
Third quarter, the second year.
Meaning that not even you complete the development, then you got your you already get your break even.
Yes.
Yes, such a very good development.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of your pricing, 400 to 500 per square foot in Kajang, where is what actually the benchmark for this pricing?
Benchmark actually is based on the competitor analysis study lah.
Yeah.
So actually from here you can see, if we looking at the left hand side for the service apartment study lah.
Yeah.
So you can see the range from this competitor, regardless of existing upcoming, they offer a range up to 387 to 700, I would say.
Yeah.
And actually, if you see as the Vista Bangi and Carriage Boulevard, these two residents, actually they get higher price because they are near to the Bandar Kajang area. And actually they are linked, they are more nearer to the MRT instead of KTM. While compared to us, we start by the KTM and we are further from the Bandar Kajang area. So that's one reason we put around 400 to 500, because actually the canopy hill also fall in that range lah. So we will do with that we will recommend with that amount of pricing lah.
But you are TOD, transit oriented development as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because you just go for the maximum of 500 only, but you can stretch it out until to 600 for the certain unit to get more better IRR. That is only my comment lah. Okay. Overall, it's a good presentation because you are not. I'm not talking that you can take up the advantage of this TOD up to the all the unit must be up to the 600, but there may be certain units, special unit for you to catch up. Then maybe you can increase your IRR.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, thank you. But overall, it's a very good presentation. Okay, back to you, Dr. Zafira.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Anwar. Surveyor Ghani, do you have any question?
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with Dr. Anwar, Prof. Anwar as well. It's a good presentation. I like this group in particular, similar to the presentation in Project 1 just now, right? In the earlier morning, they presented with sort of good data and I can say thorough analysis as well, putting in their perspective as well as the projection of the figures. Yeah, this project is attractive actually. Okay, perhaps you could highlight to us what sort of strategies that you would use if you were to promote this via digital marketing. Because I think someone mentioned about digital marketing just now, right? But
yes.
you could elaborate to us what sort of strategy you would use using digital marketing?
Okay, actually for digital marketing, actually it comprises a lot. While I'm not sure whether telecommunication, which is you pay advertisement to broadcast on the television, is digital or traditional, but for your information and for panel information, we will not advise client to use that method since we are now more focusing on the digital, which on the handphone and laptop through the social media. So this digital marketing, first and foremost, we will say we need to set up an official website so that the client can get the reliable source of information from the developer staff itself or from the exclusive agent party lah. And secondly, we will say also they can set up an official listing web page on the property guru, HPro, etc., whatever the third-party listing platform, and all must be official, and so that is for the sake of the credentiality and the credibility. And lastly, we will say is through the social media platform, Facebook, and whatever, maybe Instagram or YouTube, etc. Maybe we can post our 2-minute video onto the Facebook so that we can expose ourselves to the public. And for the further in-depth analysis, further in-depth strategy, which we will recommend the client, which is Saitama Property, to partner up with agency firm, either through exclusive or maybe through multiple listing, whatever method, so that the agent work under the estate agent form can also help to promote. By doing that, as our last strategy and the best strategy, I would say that is the best strategy we can use to advertise our property and increase our sales rate drastically. Yeah. So this is the part for the digital advertising. Yes.
Okay, great. That's all, Dr. Zahira, from me.
Okay, thank you, Surveyor Ghani. Dr. Zai, do you have any question for this group?
I don't have question, but I want to praise this group, yeah, because the presentation is very, very good, and I really like the multimedia presentation. But then I want to comment on your comparison method for valuation of the property. You did mention that your value, yeah, your valuation is lower than purchase price. When was the land bought?
The land was bought actually in, if we talk about reality lah, actually bought in 2019, if not mistaken.
In 2019, your valuation is the date of valuation?
Date of valuation is to that date.
To date.
Yeah, but our acquisition price, we still take back the original transaction price lah.
Yeah, but to date, the development already received approval, right?
Mean with DO, is it, Doctor?
No, I'm asking you whether the development, the land already got approval for development?
Yes, according to prior information.
So when you value as at now, you have to take into consideration all that. Yeah. But when I look at your valuation, like you are still value a vacant land without development approval. And then I think there is something lacking in the factors of adjustment. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to look back on this. Yeah. That's why you get lower value.
Okay, understood. Sorry, Doctor, just wanted to ask wondering. So in this case, if we say the land is already get the DO, how much shall we adjust? Is it 30% something?
It depends actually. Yeah, the actual land last time is still under agree or already building. If under agree, you have to include the conversion premium, and then the development order fee. Yeah, and etc. Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
why for development land, yeah, we prefer to use residual method. Yeah, because residual method already you have to take into consideration all that in the calculation. Yeah, and it's based on the highest and best use.
Understood, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zai. So there's no more question for this group. Well done, group 3. Congratulations. So you're done with IP officially for your part. Okay, so congratulations. Thank you, group 3.
Thank you, each panel. Thank you,
Korang tepuk sendiri di rumah masing-masing. Okay. So group 5, are you guys ready? So this is the last presentation for today. And it's going to be the last part of your presentation, which is task 2. Minyao is sharing your screen. Yes. Minyao, are you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, you can start. Good luck.
Good afternoon to all of the panelists, Dr. Surveyor Zaf, Dr. Surveyor Zai, Sir Abdulghani, and Prof. Anna. We are from Group 5, and now we will present the integrated project for task 2. So this is our team members and I'm the team leaders. So now I'll be explaining about the proposed site. First, we are instructed by the Saitama Property Sendirian Berhad to come out with a development appraisal report for lot 1125 at Bukit Kajang. So this is the particulars of title of the land. And then this is the site description. Our land is 3.77 acres and it is trapezium in shape with a flat terrain. This is the site view. And our site is zoned under commercial with a plot ratio of 1:4. However, since that we are located within a 400 meters radius from the station KTM of Kajang 2, that's why we are zoned under the transit planning zone. We can propose a plot ratio of 1:8. And then our proposed site is located in between Kajang and Semenye area, and it is accessible via the main roads such as Jalan Reko and also Silk Highway and other highway as well. And our proposed site is surrounded by a lot of amenities. One of the most significant one is the station KTM Kajang 2 is just located 220 meters walking distance away from us. On top of that, we also have other amenities such as the educational institution range from international school, primary school, and secondary school. We also have healthcare and commercial retail that is located near to us as well. Next, I will pass to Min Kai. We will first present the video first.
Minyao, you have to close the window. You are blocking.
Next slide. Okay, thank you, Mingyo, for the video. First of all, I will talk about the development component. So this table is actually meant for the adherence to planning guideline. The things I'm going to emphasize here is no matter for open space, perimeter planting, clean area, and floor ratio, we're adhering to development guideline. Next, please. At the left side, you're looking at the ground floor of our property. There's open road, landscape, guardhouse, and lobby. Orange part is guardhouse, blue is M&E room, chocolate is disposal room, and yellow is water tank room. At the right side is podium and 7th floor with facilities, retail space, and feature trees. The orange, purple, yellow, and blue color is each of our tower. There's 2 units of retail space under each of the tower. Shady green at below of the picture is Herbs Garden, and the shady green at the right side is Escape Park. Next. Okay, about distribution for the service apartment, we have 3 types of layout, ranging from 550 square feet to 929 square feet, which is adhering with the guideline that gives 550 square feet to 1,000 square feet. We have more unit for 2 and 3 room, as according to our market studies, the household size in Hulu Langat is larger. More than 50% of the household has more or equal to 4 people. So the layout will be more on 2 to 3 room. Actually, there's less demand for 1 bedroom, as overhang unit in Hulu Langat is mostly studio or 1 bed suite. For TOD development, guidelines said that we need to allocate 30% of affordable unit of 700 and 850 square feet, which priced at 200 and 300K. And we fulfilled it with our 2-bedroom unit. The proposed development is actually 3.77 acres. For the land smaller than 5 acres, the land is required to be reserved for the development for Rumah Selangor. However, this rule only applies on MBPJ, MPAJ, MPSJ. Since the proposed development is under MPKJ, no development for Rumah Selangor is required. Next. Next. Okay, next I'll talk about the infrastructure part. According to planning guideline, each of the unit needs to have at least 1 car park. And in fact, we are giving more than that. Other than that, the parking for OKU, motorcycle, and retail space also fulfilled according to planning guideline. Next. Okay, then we will talk about the retail space. Let us look at the concept of the photo first. It is made up with 8 units of retail space, with each of the unit having 2,500 square feet, which made up of a total of 20,000 square feet. It is worth to mention that this retail is exclusively for our residents only. That's why it's located at podium, and it is controlled by developer in terms of tenant management. This is to make sure the supply of the retail and amenities is really meant for the convenience of the resident. Next. Okay, we actually follow the layout that our client proposed, as the layout is actually feasible with reasonable price. The specialty for this project we are recommending for our client is the feature facilities I'm going to talk now. Okay, so other than facility mentioned in the planning guideline, which is 24-hour CCTV, gym, multi-purpose hall, swimming pool, playground, and prayer room, this is standard one. We are proposed spatial one that is Herbs Garden and Mini Escape Park. The left side one is Herbs Garden, which managed by the building management, which will plant many different variety of edible herbs, which can be harvested by the residents. Then at the right side is Mini Escape Park, which is an outdoor facility that allows young and kids and teenagers to enjoy climbing and overcome obstacles. This escape park will attract many children to play around and connect with their neighbor and friends. The feature facility provided is in response to the concept of urban agriculture and family oriented. Next, I'll pass to Chua.
Okay, so regarding market study, we first look at demographics, right? So for the indicators in Hulu Langat, okay, so we look at the population is actually decreasing and the median age is increasing a bit. And for the ethnicity in the locality of Hulu Langat, we're mostly Bumi Putras at 55%, right? More than half. That's what Minkai said just now. And for the household size, is around 4 and more people is the majority portion, right? Which is 58% with a median of 3.9% per household. so which is much more suitable to build a larger size unit, 3 rooms and above, right? Next, we are looking at the economic outlook. So for Selangor and Hulu Langat, so basically it's a quite similar trend, right? For over the years, it's an increasing trend for GDP, right? CPI, inflation. But during 2020, due to COVID-19, all of the indicators are dropped down, especially the OPR, which shows to prove the lowest point in history. So that's the general economic outlook, right? Otherwise, it's a quite stable growth for over the years, past few years. So for next part is the property market analysis, and we're looking at the service department one, whereby the value and volume transaction is actually increasing over the years, though there's a drop in 2020. Same goes to the shops, right, and also shopping complex. And that's overall they show the drop in 2020 for across indicators, whereas the occupancy rate for shops and shopping complex in Hulu Langat is actually decreasing, right, which applies same to the Malaysia, right? So next, I will pass to Alia for the community analysis.
Okay, thank you, Chua. I'll continue competitor analysis. As we can see in this slide, these are all the potential competitors within the range of 3 and 5 kilometers from the proposed site. The one in yellow is existing competitors, and the green is upcoming competitors. Next. For product analysis, from all the competitors, the biggest layout offered is by Residency Prima Kajang Utama, while Tiara Imperial Residence offer the smallest layout. Most of the competitors are including the 3-bedroom layout in their development and offer the size from 800 to 1,499 square foot. This has indicated that the location is suitable for staying of small family ranging from 3 to 5 members. Next, discount analysis. Most of them offer free stamp duties, free legals, and MOT. This is to make sure that the buyer never pays nothing to the documentation fee, because nowadays a zero down payment will have more potential buyers, especially first-time buyers. Next, pricing analysis. Most of the competitors are selling at 330,000 to 270,000 for setting price. The maximum price also capped at 390,000. This has indicated that the sales price of the service resident in the area are not exceeding 400,000 ringgit. Next, while for price per square foot, most of the constructing competitors are offering a range of 400 per square foot to 450 per square foot, except Canopy Hill, which offer a range of 259 per square foot to 420 per square foot. This may be to its high density of development. Next. Lastly, the demand analysis. Most of the development already have high take-up rate, which is more than 90%. According to demand analysis, the absorption rate per project is recorded 411 units per annum. So that's all from me. I'll pass presentation to Afiq.
Thank you, Alia. Now I will go through with our SWOT analysis part. For the strength is that the area consists of a lot of township development. The development is in high potential township development area for residential due to the location. So the value will increase vigorously time by time. Another strength is the subject development has good accessibility to public transport, which will benefits the home buyers. For weakness, the location of the development does not have direct access to the main road, which is Jalan Reko, so the potential buyers need to use a longer road to reach the development sites. Another weakness is the subject site is isolated from other amenities and have the potential of noise pollution. For opportunities, the opportunities is limited competitions. It is limited competition because we only took Canopy Hills and Mirai Residence that share the same characteristic with the development, which is near the KTM Kajang 2. Another opportunities is that there is an increased demand in residential property due to the location is in a residential spotted area. For threats, this development face uncertainty of housing market and market player due to COVID-19, which implies a greater risk in the current situation and affected the decision making of potential house buyers. Next. So from this SWOT analysis, we have formulated two strategies, which are combined strategies and prevent strategies. For combined strategies, it is a combination of strengths and opportunities. For example, good accessibility to the public transport, and the area that is consists of township development, as well as the increase in demand of residential property, which allows the developer to provide housing concept that is suitable to be built to fulfill the highest and best use of the sites. The availability of good accessibility and high demand in residential property helps to maximize the potential of acceptance for this proposed development. For prevent strategy, we could see that the weakness could be present in this proposed development. For example, the potential of noise pollution due to the location that is near to the KTM Kajang 2. This development has taken a measurement in preventing this weakness by installing insulated material such as blow-in cellulose insulation, which insulate well in reducing the noise pollution that may attract homeowners. Another prevention step that has been taken into consideration is the amenities that is located far from the proposed development. The subject development has decided to provide retail space which can be used for residents' daily grocery and necessity shopping to provide convenience to the residents. Next, I will pass the presentation to Swee Ching.
Thank you, Afiq. Firstly, I'll explain the residual method. For the GDV, we calculate the revenue for selling the units. The per square feet price is set based on the market study and the competitive. You guys can just see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, I'll explain the residual method. For the GDV, we calculate the revenue for selling the units, and the price per square feet is set based on the market study and competitors analysis, which is around 405, which is in the low range, so that we can offer more affordable housing to the public. Then we calculate the gross revenue for the service apartment, minus with the discount. As for the retail area, we are using investment method to calculate the capital value, as we are going to rent out the retail area. We find the comparable rentals of the short lot near to the site and get the average market rental per square feet. Then we assume 20% lower than the market rental, as the retail space is not open to public, only served for the residents. So then we calculate the gross annual rental, less the outgoings at 20% and times with the YP per at 7% to get the capital value of 6.1 million, which we will add here to get the total GDV. As for the GDC, the building cost can get from Arcadis. For the other development costs, for the pre-construction stage, we have all these. And for the during construction, we have the professional consultant fees, such as the QS, engineer and architect fees. As for the financial fee, we have the bridging loan and term loan. The bridging loan is 30% of the total building cost. We borrow lesser because we are using the sell then build concept, where we can get cash inflow during the construction stage. As for the term loan, we borrow 40%. These are the interest rates and the terms. Then for the post-construction, we have the legal fees, which we offer for free for our buyers. So this is the amount we have to pay. As for the developer's profit, it is 15% from GDV, as the current market is soft. Then we calculate the total GDC using the building cost, developers, other development costs and developers profit to get total GDC of 290 million. Then we use the GDV minus GDC to get the residual land value in the next 3 years. After that, we PV back 3 years at the rate of WACC of 7.09% to get the capital land value of 66.4 million. Then we come to the development timeline. Our development timeline starts from year 0 to year 4. Year 0 will be the preparation stage. As we have already obtained the development order, the preparation period is shorter. The construction year will start in year 0 and will last for 3 years, ending in year 2. Starting from year 3 will be the defect liability period. The estimated sales for year 1 is 40%, which is a total of 461 units, which is similar to our absorption rate of the market, which is 411 units. We expect to have a higher rate as we are located very close to the KTM station and offering affordable housing and good promotion. For year 1 will be 40% and year 2 will be 20%. The cash inflow is based on a progressive payment as in Schedule H of the HDA. So the total we can collect in the first year is total of 25%. based on the total construction work that is completed. As for the cash flow, in year 0, which is the first year, using type A as example, we get the inflow based on the total revenue times with the percentage of cash inflow, which is 25%. Then we obtain the revenue for year 0. Going on to the second year, we expect to have cash inflow of 50% based on the stages, 50%. And if it is sold in year, if it is the unit sold in year 1, we'll collect a total of 75%. And this applies to the rest of the years and the rest of the units. Then we will minus with the discount. As for the retail area, we will use the net annual rental, which is starting from year 3 and year 4, because we only can rent it out after the construction has completed. The total GDV will be 366 million. Then for the cash outflow, the pre-construction stage and construction stage starts in the first year. The pre-construction stage includes these elements, and then during construction includes this, and post-construction is after third year, which is in year 3 and year 4. So we have to pay legal fees for in year 3. The cash outflow is based on the percentage over here. Then we calculate the total GDC will be 258 million. The GDV 366 million minus the GDC 258 million to get the profit before tax of 108 million. Then we less the initial capital investor to get a net profit of 63 million. Before the present value, the IRR will be 23.58%. As for and after the present value with the WACC discount rate, the WACC is counted based on the cost of equity and the weightage, which will get 7.09%, which will get a net present value of 39 million, like 39.6 million, and an IRR of 15.4%. For our break-even point, we will break even in the second half of the year 1, and we'll start generating positive cash flow. Mia can share screen. Okay, for the return of investment, we got 37.88%, while ROC is 15.95%, which is high. And the benefit cost ratio is more than 1, which means that the project is viable, and the IRR is 15.4%, more than the WACC rate, and which means that the project is feasible as well. Next, I'll pass to Melissa.
Thank you, Su Ching. I will continue on with the marketing strategy. The proposed development is positioned as a low-end but also high-quality service apartment. For target market, objectively, the proposed development would likely accommodate locals living in Selangor. The fact that we recommend affordable service apartment means that this development aims to cater buyers predominantly those under the low and middle income groups. Due to the nature of the development, the target audience for Parkland residents are generally owner-occupiers with different household size. Next. Now I will continue on with marketing mix. For product, first of all, the proposed development is located to Station KTM Kajang 2, which is part of its selling points. Due to the concept family-orientated, special facilities are also provided for families to enjoy. As shown earlier, this development offers 3 types of units that intend to fulfill different buyers' needs. Next. As for price, since low and middle income earners are the main target, the gross price for a single unit would range between RM 222,000 to RM 376,000, which is quite reasonable from a buyer's perspective. Next. For place, we suggested to have the sales gallery located next to the proposed site. Adopting the sell then build concept, buyers lose the opportunity to view the products before they can make a purchase. Therefore, units with exact layout and measurement shall be prepared to entice and give prospective buyers the total experience of what they are buying. Virtual showrooms are also provided for the same purpose. Next. Lastly is promotion. First of all, the proposed development offers discount like Bumi Putra discount and early bird discount to attract prospective buyers. Next, The buyers are also exempted from paying legal fee, loan agreement, and stamp duty once they sign the sales and purchase agreement. Lastly, it also offers home ownership campaign and rent-to-own scheme to assist first-time home buyers and those with financial difficulties. Now I will pass this presentation to Min Yang.
Thank you, Melissa. So in conclusion, we actually recommend our client to proceed with this development. This is because that when comparing with the comparison method, the land value actually become lesser because we didn't take in the fact that we have obtaining the development order. However, when you're looking at the land value calculating using restitution method, it has increased almost for 2 times double the value or 3 times. In this case, we recommend that it is recommended for the client to carry out this development. And then the feasibility study also shows that the project and viable is feasible to be carried out. The reason is because there is a high demand around that particular area, which shows in the market absorption rate that depicts in the competitors analysis. On top of that, currently we have a low OPR rate, which also encourages the prospective buyers to make purchase at this moment. We actually recommend our client to incorporate with the home ownership campaign, which will offer more discount to the first home buyer. And then on top of that, we also encourage our client to adopt the rent-to-own scheme that can actually partnering with Maybank that provides the house key. It is a rent-to-own scheme because this can reduce the burden for some of the low-income earners who has used up their saving during this pandemic. In this case, rent-to-own scheme can provide a lower deposit rate for them to pay. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5. So I'll start the Q&A session with Surveyor Ghani. Do you have any question for this group?
Well, thank you, Group 5. Very good presentation, as well as good use of analysis and data as well. Yeah. I don't have any particular question actually. I'm just wondering. Yes, I like your presentation about the marketing campaign just now, as well as your SWOT analysis. I'm just wondering about the marketing mix component, right? It's a 4-piece things. Because I saw somewhere there also element of 7-piece and all that. I don't know. Is this still feasible 4-piece at this time, the current time? I don't know, because I wouldn't know. I didn't know much about marketing as well. Yes, traditionally 4-piece is mainly used, right? But I think since 1980s or 1990s, we shifted towards 7-piece or I don't know something like that. Just elaboration on that.
Yeah.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Yeah, I understood. But currently, actually, still quite a lot of governments that applying this 4-piece in terms of encouraging more sales and marketing the product. So in this case, I think that what we encourage our client is to go affordable with the pricing and then provide a very similar promotion package with the competitors to compete with the competitors that is located nearby to us. So this can encourage more sales if they do if the pricing is cheap, but at the same time also with a lot of promotions.
Okay, great. Well done, Group 5 overall. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll open to Prof. Anwar. Do you have any question for this group?
Thank you, Dr. Zafira. Of course, I have a question. Okay, for this one looks good. Your IR is 15.4 and ROI is 37%. Looks good as compared to your task one.
Okay. I think I noticed what is the issue that causing my task one, the ROI so high, because I using the value before being net presented.
I see. Okay. Yeah. And then, okay, did you demonstrate that for the Bumi purchaser, you give 10% for Bumi discount?
Yes.
And then further 10% for the early bird.
Yes.
How about if the Bumi the Bumi also early birds, and then the percentage is higher, will affect your GDV, isn't it?
Yes.
That you demonstrate for your residual. What is your assumption for this kind of the case for the Bumi? How many percent of the Bumi to get the 20 maximum of 20% discount?
So for Bumi 1, we only give 30% and 30% of the total units and a 10% discount. The early bird discount actually only apply in the first year. So in this case, we don't show it in the calculation here, but we do advise
How
the
about
client.
the Bumi also? In the 30% also, they are also early birds.
It won't be taken into
you consider
consideration.
that?
It won't taken into consideration for the Bumi Putra discount for the early bird.
Because you mentioned that even though the Bumi or non-Bumi can get the early bird, isn't it? Am I right?
We mentioned
you
this.
Cannot say that Bumi cannot get the early bird. What happen if the Bumi Putra get their 10% and then they also the early bird in the 30%? You have to be the worst scenario, that kind of scenario, and then it will affect your residual method.
Yes.
Definitely affect your residual method because they can get the 20% discount.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case, for our calculations, actually, what we deduct is we just directly deduct from the total GDV.
Yeah.
So we don't exclude the Bumi Putra discount from the early bird discount actually.
Yeah, that is a mistake because because they qualified for the early birds. Huh? Okay. Can you show me your year 1 and year 2 NPV? Year 0 and year 1.
NPV. Yeah, this is NPV.
Is your screen moving? Because for me, it's not moving.
Me also not moving.
I apologize.
Okay. I am interested the NPV, the year 0 and.
Actually, I'm sharing screen now.
Then you share.
Negative. Year 0 negative.
Yes.
Year 1 start positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we will launch our sale in year 0.
You see behind that in year 1 also 72 is a bracket accumulated net.
Oh, we need to plus back the. Shifting, can you show the calculation for year 1? Double click.
It's actually this plus this one. So
accumulated because you deduct the positive year 1 and then you accumulated will be still negative, isn't it?
Yes.
And then year 2 you already start positive.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a little bit okay, that makes sense. I thought your year 1 still negative. Then how come you can get the payback is 1.5 million, 1.1 at 1 on year 1.5? Okay. Okay. Looks like Afiq Daniel is a pakar SWOT analysis in your group, huh?
Yeah, he did a good job in doing the analysis.
Task 1 and task 2, he presented the SWOT analysis.
Yes.
But I'm not really impressed with the combined SWOT analysis, the combined one and the strategy to overcome. Not really. Some of the issue not really overcome the problem. But this is okay. Okay. Congratulations for the presentation and the good data presented. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you.
Dr. Zafira.
Thank you, Prof. Anwar. So probably close the Q&A session with Dr. Zai. Do you have any question? Dr. Zai?
Mute kot.
Oh, Dr. Zai mute?
Tak tahu lah. Mute kot. Tak ada suara keluar.
Oh.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I don't have question, but I have to praise your group because you actually maintain their proposal by the developer, right?
We only add up some spatial facilities like the Herbs Garden and the mini escape park.
Because the original layout component proposed by our client is actually feasible with the price that we proposed.
That is how we did in industry. Industry, when a developer come to us, we will use. We not straight away propose our new proposal. We have to study their proposal first. Because they already incurred cost. In coming out with the approval plan. So I think very good because you managed to get IRR 15 point something, which is viable for this project. And then so other small mistake, I think I don't have to mention it here. There is little mistake here and there. I think well done. I also like the multimedia presentation. Very nice. Good for marketing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's the end of the session. I have no question.
Thank you,
yes, thank you to Group 5. So that's the end of your IT as well. And we are going to have a wrap-up session among all the panels. I didn't ask many questions. I'm one of the panel as well today. I don't have any more additional questions from the panels. I think the panels has given many questions that could help you further improve your assignments, right? So perhaps I will start first to wrap this up, and then I'll give it to Prof. Anwar, Dr. Zai, and then Surveyor Ghani. Okay, so basically multimedia-wise, like Dr. Zai said, everything looks good. Everything is pleasing to the eyes. There's not much words, a lot of numbers, but it's fine because clients would want to see that as well. Good explanation. I think like group planning provision and how they could increase the plot ratio, etc. And I think overall everybody did well with the video. I really do hope so that everybody gets A. Hint to other panels as well, because this is the last, and surely it has been a privilege for me, and I'm sure for all your lecturers as well, to see how you have grown from first year until to the final task that you have now today. Because after this is latihan industry, right? So we won't be seeing you guys again. So well done. Congratulations to group 1, 3, and 5. Anwar, to wrap up the session as well, and then I'll pass to Dr. Zai and then Surveyor Ghani.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zafira. Again, also thank you, Dr. Zai and Surveyor. Okay, I found that the three groups have presented very well based on the data and then the limitation that you're facing while doing this task, because we are still in the lockdown situation, and then but you managed to come up with a good data as well as the good presentation. And also I agree with Dr. Zafira and Dr. Zai, and also Dr. Surveyor Ghani mentioned that the video presentation is a little bit very catchy and very attractive, but the pleasing to the eye, some of the slide I'm not agree, because I'm old perhaps, that some of the thing that is not really clear for me, but I think to Dr. Zafira is very pleasing lah, because small number also can be you can read, okay, because you are very young. Okay. And then overall, there is a good, I think some of the minor thing too, there is a lesson learned, is a learning curve. I guess it's not a problem. And then I hope that as as Dr. Zafirah mentioned, that everyone perhaps can, I hope, and can get A for this subject. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Anwar. Dr. Zahiria, would you like to wrap up and comment for the presentations today?
Okay, my first comment is well done. Yeah, everybody, all the group have done a very good job. Yeah, in terms of findings, the information. Yeah, analyzing the data and so on. But I have a few comments here that you should take into consideration. Yeah, first, yeah, when you do any task, yeah, you have, if in industry, yeah, we have to look at the client requirements. Yeah, like for you student, you have to look at the question and try to answer the question. Yeah, so like question task 2, yeah, the question asks you to do valuation using residual method incorporating DCF technique. So you should, yeah, you should do that. Yeah, should answer the question. And I also very sad, yeah, because group 1, yeah, in terms of doing residual method, yeah, the development period you take only 2 years. Yeah, that is impossible for multi-story building to be completed, yeah, within 2 years. Yeah, it's not tally with your DCF. Yeah, DCF you use the development period like 4 years, but why in residual method you take 2 years only? And then I think I have to tell you that because it's a very glaring mistake. Yeah, and do not repeat the same mistake again. I think that's all. Overall, yeah, well done and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Zai. So lastly, panel surveyor Abdul Ghani.
Yes, the last bit probably just, I mean,
the big
yes,
now.
everyone, you know, basically learning is a process, right? Okay, that you need to go through from something you don't know until you become, you know, master on it, right? So I think throughout your journey from year 1 until now, year 3, and then you're going into your internship and so on. Yeah, I can see you have gained all the relevant understanding, knowledge, and skills, and it has shown, you know, in your presentation, in your not only presentation in terms of the data and slides, but also in terms of presenting yourself. Because I can see some of you might be very successful in this field, actually, development, you know, because, you know, some of you have this, what we call that, a proper skills in terms of using or presenting, you know, words, sentences, and give, you know, proper explanation to the audience. And it's great effort for everyone on this task, on these 2 tasks. All right, although limitations during this time, MCO, COVID, and all, right. Yeah, well done, everyone. All the best in your future. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Surveyor Ghani. Thank you. I think last year, Surveyor Ghani, the students can actually go to the land office, etc., right?
Yes, yes.
So this
but
year,
with limited travel juga, tapi they still can go.
Yeah, they still can go, but with limited pergerakan movement. But this year it's like 100% online.
Yes.
And I know it has been tough for you guys, and especially there's 2 tasks, 2 heavy tasks as well. But you've managed to pull it off, which is good. Okay, so I resonate with all the panels. You have done well. Pat yourself with the back, give yourself an applause. Okay, did a good job today. So I think we're gonna end the session with photo session. So everybody can on your cameras so that I can take a photo of everyone. Okay. Okay, I have 2 faces.
I ambil tudung.
Oh, boleh. Surveyor Ghani mana? Surveyor Ghani.
Coming.
Okay. Okay, wait, Zoom lets me to tukar-tukar the tiles. Okay, jap. Let me find. Okay, best kan group 1, 3 and 5 sebab you guys dah habis. See, semua orang anggap color. Semua rasa bebas. Kejap kita tunggu Surveyor Gani dengan Dr. Zah. Okay, I jumpa Surveyor Gani dah. Sekejap bring Surveyor Gani. Okay, Dr. Zai pun dah. Okay, so everybody dah buka gambar. Hafiz tak buka pun. Faikmal, are you there? Wei Ming, are you there? Okay, so semua orang smile. Okay, 1, 2, kejap. Nak besarkan. Okay. Hold on. Okay, 1, 2, smile. Kejap.